We're live? We're
Yes.
live?
We're live, pal.
Hi there, everyone.
The
We have
thumbs up
appeared.
means live.
We have appeared magnificently and unexpectedly upon whatever screen you are watching us on.
Cool.
Welcome back to nkyRoleplaying and our episode 3 of our Dynasty stream that we are running through a heavily adapted Rise of the Runelords. We have a few things to go through before we can get started today, so we're not just going to leap on in. But I hope everyone's week has gone well. Viv, do you want to go before or after me?
You go first, Bethan.
Yeah,
Bethan, go
okay,
first.
cool.
Get the unpleasantness out the way, and
So
then move on.
we have an unpleasant bit of business to be getting to, I'm afraid. We're going to keep it as quick as possible so we can get back to the game and the fun stuff. But it is kind of important that we do this, so let's go. I have a nice notes here in front of me so I don't forget anything. So, first things first, before I get started on this, I have 3 important points that you need to bear in mind. 3. 1, Black Lives Matter. We will take no argument on this. 2, always believe in and stand with victims of abuse. Always. And 3, fuck the system. Right? Good. Now we've got that out of the way. There have been a lot of recent revelations, I suppose we could call them, about the tabletop role-playing community recently. A lot of big name companies and freelancers acting in really problematic ways and deliberately causing harm to people and then hiding behind their reputations and the companies that they've worked for. And we have a statement we would like to make on these people. And I believe I speak for all of us when I say, fuck those guys. We're standing with those who are brave enough to come forward with accounts of their abuse at the hands of famous or influential people, because that sounds insanely difficult, and why would anyone lie? I'm not going to get into the specifics of the stuff that's come out, because it's pretty horrible and pretty triggering for you guys and for us. We've had to read over all this stuff recently, and it's not good, so we're not doing that again. But basically, what we wanted to do at nkyRoleplaying is we wanted to make our hobby as inclusive as we possibly can. You know, as it says in pretty much all of our bios, we're a group of disabled queers. We like shit to be inclusive, because generally otherwise we don't get to play. We've heavily adapted all of the adventure paths that we've been playing that are by Paizo. And this is partly because some aspects of it haven't aged very well. And partly because there are a lot of harmful tropes in the fantasy genre that we kind of want to not have. But we do want to make it extremely clear before we continue this, that in the light of recent events, we have done our research. We have looked as far into this as we could bear to do. So we're not overlooking this, we're not brushing past it. We know we have done our research on this. And at the moment, we are currently making the decision to continue our stream with the changes we've made to the adventure path. We want to show that role-playing can be made better. That we can continue to love these games. We just have to put in a bit of work and it can still be done. However, important point. We're very white. I don't know if you'd noticed. We're all white. We're all British. There are going to be a lot of things that we don't notice because we haven't come into contact with them in our own lives. And obviously we have a level of privilege to have not noticed these things. So if we've missed something, if you think, oh, there's no way we should continue to be, working with Paizo's works, or if we play a different game working with that particular people's works, or using a particular supplement made by a particular group, or any of that stuff. If we've missed something, or we've not dealt with something that you think is very important, or we fuck up and you want to tell us to do better. Like if we say something or do something that we don't realize is racist or problematic, please tell us. Like, just let us know. And
call us the fuck out.
Yeah, call us out, because everyone can improve. No one's perfect. We're super white. Most of us a lot of us have lived fairly sheltered lives. I'm probably the most sheltered one here, but that's not the point. In terms of leaving the country and mixing with other cultures, I'm not exactly very up on that. So yeah, we're going to miss something, and we are never going to get angry or upset or disappointed or anything if you call us out, except in ourselves, and we can deal with that. we will move on. So that's kind of all we really wanted to say. We just wanted to be like, there's a lot of problems going on at the moment. Not naming names, though I think if you watch a lot of role-playing streams, and if half of you are the people who are in a different game that I am in on streaming, you will know exactly who I mean. But there's been a lot about different companies. We just don't want to mess it up. We're doing what we can. But if you do want to contact us about anything, we have an email address. It's at wonkyroleplaying@gmail.com. That's wonky without the O. Or you can send me a DM on Twitter personally at King Bethan, especially if there's something that you think, like if you've read Runelords and you think, oh god, there's something that's going to come up that's really problematic. I really hope they've changed it. Just get in touch with me. I can tell you what changes I've made. I can if I've not made changes, then we can have a discussion about what changes should be made. Just if you contact me, then these guys don't get to know any spoilers, so it's fine. Yeah, hope you stick with us. And that's the end of my horrible, boring speech. There you go. We can move on to the fun stuff again now, everyone. Speech done. So Viv, you had a shout out to do, I believe.
I have a shout out. First, I want to apologize for appearing to have been tangoed. I'm recording from a different location this week, for family reasons, good family reasons. But yeah, I have a shout out to someone who, before we even started the stream, I commissioned them to do a little sketch of Mox, which I'll post after this session on my Twitter, so you can have a look. But if you want to check them out just now, they're Francis Noir _, so that's FrancisNoir _ on Twitter. They're awesome. Their commissions aren't open at the moment, but give them a follow, check out their portfolio. They have it pinned tweet. They have links to their website and all other official ways in which to look at their stuff and interact with them. So yeah.
We do love us an independent artist who we can support.
Yep, and they fund their trans mask. They're allies. They're close to my heart in many ways. So
alrighty,
give them some love.
Please do give them some love. So I think aside from that, we are ready to get right into it.
You mean to our lovely day at the fair? Because that was still a thing.
That was definitely where you were. You were having a lovely day at the fair. Nothing had interrupted it. You were on your way to your audition.
Playing games, drinking liquor out of sex workers' belly buttons. Yeah.
So, if you've not joined us for previous episodes,
that was a lie that I just said.
That was indeed a lie. They are both up on YouTube, I believe. They're both up on YouTube. Yes, they're both up on YouTube. On our channel, that's Wonky Roleplaying without the O. And basically, our lovely adventurers, we have Snitch, who is a Ratfolk rogue. Wave Snitch. This is Rory, who plays Snitch. We have Kat, who plays Nell, our Ifrit Magus. We have Viv, who plays Mox, who is a Morrow Bard. And we have Nick, who plays Huron, who is our dwarven gunslinger? Something slinger. Can't hear you, Nick.
I muted myself, whatever was being said.
Yes, you are a something slinger.
100% gunslinger.
Yep, that's a thing that's happening. They had a lovely day at the festival, the Swallowtail Festival in a little town called Sandpoint, in the lands of Galarian, which is the standard Pathfinder setting, though I have made a significant number of changes to it. They had a wonderful day at the fair. Then, just as the actual religious portion of the festival was about to begin, a lot of very nasty, mean people arrived.
Bad men came.
Bad people came and killed some people, and they had to leap into action as the level 1 adventuring party that they are.
Leap into action without our armor.
Because we were
having a nice day at the fair and or performing.
So they I forgot the most important part. 3 of them have actually won an audition at the theatre and have been moaning about the fact that their possibility of going to this audition may have been ruined by these nasty mean people and their stabby sticks.
That was Mox's dream. Their lifelong dream for a whole
like,
hour before
for a whole
it happened.
hour. The moment you heard about the winning
theatre!
prize.
The theatre!
So they fought a number of people. Last episode was focused on them fighting off these raiders, about whom they made an alarming discovery. In that the one of them seemed to drop out as when they killed a bard with a strange, I hesitate to call it a song. One of the people caterwauling, that's a good word. It doesn't get used enough. One of the people they were fighting seemed to shake themselves out of some form of trance and was very confused as to where they were and why there was blood everywhere. Since then, they fought a couple more people, managed to break a couple more people out of their trances, one of whom laughed in their faces and continued to try and kill them. So they killed that guy. He's dead.
He was a dick.
Got deaded.
But they ended last episode having made a new friend in the form of Lord Aldern Foxglove.
Yes.
Who is possibly my favorite NPC to date.
He's the fop's fop.
He is the most foppish man you've ever met in your life. And his servant and his dog. You met all of those people. And you and they started dragging your two unconscious people off to the cathedral. That was where we ended off, I think.
I believe so.
You were heading to the cathedral, I've got that right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Were you heading to the cathedral to get these people seen to?
One of them arrested, the other seen to, I think.
Yeah,
we weren't sure about the dwarf because
the dwarf has not regained consciousness yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is also a hobgoblin.
There was a second hobgoblin that we don't know whether they're also a douchebag.
I tried to talk to them and they were not very forthcoming, so I knocked them out again and have been logging them through the town.
Oh, and the sheriff of the town, Sheriff Hemlock, has taken custody of the goblin who they shook out of the trance earlier, because Hemlock mentioned that the rest of the village might not be very pleased to see him and might not understand. So he's currently in the jail or the watch house, or wherever it is that Hemlock lives, works.
Protective custody.
Some sort of protective custody, and you have the other two who are currently both unconscious, I believe, because I believe Nell had enough with the hobgoblin not talking and knocked him out again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So that is where we start the adventure today.
I physically threw my crossbow to the side and clocked the guy with my hammer.
And I believe it may. You also stripped them of their weapons, which is a very important point. I believe Huron started that when the dwarf started having some sort of.
Yeah, initially I was kicking the
Minor
weapons away from the seizing individual.
Yep. Okay, so everything seems quiet now in the village of Sandpoint. The calm after a storm, so to speak. It looks like there are organized bucket chains putting out fires all over the place. There aren't too many serious fires, and none of them have reached buildings. They're mostly market stalls or wagons. The two that were carrying firewood seem to be being left to burn out.
Yeah.
People are being carried, shuffling along towards the cathedral. There do seem to be people around, various people who you've already met, are helping out with stuff that's going on.
Where's the sheriff?
The sheriff appears to be looking for you when you get back to the town square.
I just remembered I have an armful of servant.
Oh yeah. Which I believe
And me and Aldern are half dragging the dwarf.
Yes.
Half dragging, half carrying.
And I believe that leaves Nell and Snitch with the hobgoblin?
Whom they are less concerned with hurting.
I was just kind of dragging him.
We have a leg each.
I was going to assume that you had an arm each for the sake. This is a cobbled town.
I had him tied up. I think I was just dragging him by the ropes.
Okay, good. As long as his head's not bouncing off every cobble on the way back.
No, his arms
may
maybe,
not be
but...
alive by the time you get there.
It's like Homer coming out of the gorge.
So, when you get to the town square, the sheriff does appear to be sort of doing about 5,000 things at once, most of which are directing people to do various things. You can see other people in armor running around at their beck and call, and when they see you, they go, "Success? Everything all right?"
More or less.
Yes, I have a present for you.
You seem to have several presents. Are they all for me?
Well, this one probably is.
Potentially.
Oh, Lord Foxglove. Good to see you. I see you
more
made it out of the fighting. Good. Sorry.
More not, possibly not entirely willing.
I am assuming that possibly is why they are tied up.
Aye.
Smart. They need healing.
They're not gonna bleed out, but they could use a bit. Aye. So I first aided them last time.
Oh! This person needs healing too. You need healing, don't you? You did, yes.
Yes, I do. They do seem to be kind of staring at you. They're older than the voice I'm giving them would indicate. For the record, they are definitely a middle-aged man.
They're just taken aback by
just like
a mulleted Morrow.
Yeah, who's just
keeping them up bridal style.
Who's being very kind to them and carrying them bridal style. They were expecting maybe fireman's lift, maybe arm under the shoulders, but no, they got bridal style. So that's.
I believe they have broken a limb as well.
Yeah.
Right. All right. You, come here. Points at one of the armored people who's running past, who immediately sort of stops and goes, "Yes, Sheriff. You bring one of the clerics. Don't care which one. One of the clerics to the watch house. All right. Right. You lot, come with me. Except you. He can go in there. He's
Eldon's.
Aldrin goes, oh yes, this is my man Rogers. Yes, he's a very good man. Yes.
Perhaps you could escort your man to the cathedral.
What a positively spiffing idea. Brilliant. If you could just give me my man. Good.
Fox is just gonna be...
Sir.
Arms out. It's gonna drop him.
Aldern does not successfully hold up Rogers as he is dropped on him. They both kind of collapse. Hemlock,
oh no, I thought I said arms out. I'm so
Hemlock
sorry.
is not laughing. Studiously so.
Fox is there going to try to help
Huron
them both
rolls a will save.
Mako.
It was successful.
Mako, can you A Mako appears and just goes, "Hello." She is slightly splattered with blood. She seems quite cheerful, and the blood does not seem to be hers. Like, oh, it's you. Okay, let me just hefts Rogers. Right, time to go. I'll see you all later at the pub, yeah?
Mako!
Mox definitely gets a wink.
So as soon as she turns around, there is a definite look of approval on Huron's face. So.
She's the only person who seems to be particularly cheerful, except Mox. Everyone else is kind of like, "Oh God, what's happened?" And Mako's like, "What a fantastic day!"
Because both Mako and Mox live for the drama.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen Serdak in a while, but you're imagining he's also living for the drama.
He'll be positively thriving.
Yeah, though you did see him and a dashing young person in armor, who were
he was
seemed very good friends.
Healed by a Palaladin.
He was healed by a Palaladin.
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Yeah, he was healed by a paladin, if you know what I mean.
He laid his hands upon him.
Okay, so we're going to the.
So Hemlock is
jailhouse or
basically
whatever.
striding off.
Yeah.
Um,
Mox just kind of like do their little skippity walk behind them.
you are taken through a couple of streets in town. You see that there's a couple of burn marks on various doors. There's... It's not exactly the sound of weeping and wailing that you'd expect, say, after a battle or after a particularly successful raid. Especially Huron, this is something that, you know, you're like, yeah, this isn't so bad. You have definitely seen worse aftermaths of raids. The rest of you may not have done.
Mox 1000% hasn't.
This is also
There's
not
now-
a massive town, so
It's quite big. I realize I keep calling it a small town. It's
Yeah,
not a
no,
small
it's-
town by the standards of Galarian. It's a small town in our heads.
yeah.
And yeah, there
We
aren't
need-
like
We'll
there
need to
aren't
post
bodies everywhere.
a
and
picture
things.
of the map
Yes, I'll
to give
post
an
it.
idea of how big it actually is.
I have a thing somewhere with how many people there are who live here. But yeah, it's not like bodies in the streets, you know, houses gutted, you know, that sort of thing. It's seems relatively stable. You can hear every now and then sobbing, but it seems to be at a distance or inside, or you know, it's possibly just the shock, that sort of thing. And you are taken into the watch house. You are not taken into the cells, but you are taken into an office. It appears this is a fairly nice office. Got a big wooden table, the desk, a big fancy chair behind it, lots and lots of paperwork, and lots of chairs kind of around the walls. And your goblin friend from before, not Juniper, the one that you, the one who
the
was
dwarf into one of them.
the one who was stabbing Mox and then came to and went, "Oh God, was I stabbing you?"
Was
That
very
one.
apologetic about the stabbing.
Is
The
sitting
one whose name I keep wanting to call Decathlon, and it's not that.
Dekekmal.
Decathlon, that's it.
I can inform you that there are at least 264 named people who live in this town. I think that's the right way around. Or am I on the wrong tab?
I'm going to find the
I think
biggest.
there's a
comfy
fair
chair in
few.
Ruin City.
Sorry, what was that? Rory?
I'm going to find the biggest, comfiest chair in Ruin City.
That would be the one behind the desk.
Cool.
Power move.
Are you just gonna like take out your balls and just rub them all over the place as well?
If it was a real power move, I'd go across the desk to get to it.
Just one hand vault.
He's
Well,
not
one
tall
hand
enough.
vault into the chair and then
Yeah.
helicopter standing in it.
You'd have to like do a literal like handstand flip to vault over it.
He's a rogue, don't tempt him.
Ah.
He's a rat folk rogue.
He's a
Don't
level
tempt him.
1 rogue.
All right. So, outside in the corridors, you can hear, and while you were walking through them, see a bunch of people in armor running around. Some people not in armor who seem to be frantically taking notes and hurriedly rushing things from like piles of paper from one office to another. So there's a lot of activity going on. But as you all come inside, Hemlock shuts the door behind him and just goes, "Right, you, Dekekmal, stay there." "Okay, I'll just be over here. Hi again.
Walks to the with. Hi.
Okay.
You know
right.
this one, I'll say to Dekmal, indicating the dwarf.
I know both of them. Yeah, that's that's Haron, pointing at the hobgoblin. And that's Ellis, pointing at the dwarf. Is he okay?
You'll be fine.
Okay.
I had to be certain that he was taking part against his will.
Okay.
It was not as simple to break the trans as it was for you.
Great. I'll just stay over here being quiet then. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's like a great
Good idea.
idea.
Hemlock goes to sit in his seat without really looking at it and kind of gets to the desk and then stops. He doesn't sit on you. He just kind of
Just have a seat.
automatically going over and being like, right. So, you've obviously got a lot of confidence between you.
Do better once I get this armor on.
Understandable. Normally, I'd take over any interrogations that need to be done. It's sort of my job. But you actually saw these people. How did they react? Are they like the Kekmal over here, Mr. Kokar?
Well,
Well, go ahead now.
well, there was an additional attacker who we seemed to break free of the mind control, and he took the opportunity to keep attacking us anyway. So he's dead. And
were
then
attacking you?
this hobgoblin sort. I think we broke the compulsion on them, and when I tried to speak to them, they were not forthcoming, so I knocked them out again.
Everyone reacts in different ways to different things. Doesn't mean that the lack of speaking doesn't mean he's necessarily not going to talk now.
The dwarf I rendered unconscious before any compulsion was broken.
So we've no idea with the dwarf.
Couldn't tell
Ellis,
you.
you said. Right, excellent. Ellis. Well. I would give you a cell, but we've not got that many. And currently it's full.
Busy, aye.
Yeah. That, and you'd have to get past the... You'd have to get your potential raiders past the jailer. He's a bit upset right now. So you might not succeed.
Fair.
Good man, just not very in touch with his emotions, which is why he's the jailer and not the sheriff.
Do you need a hug?
Enough said.
He might need a hug.
I
actually.
wouldn't advise it from the sounds.
Mox was going to make a note of it anyway. Hug jailer. Instead of heart.
That'll be entertaining.
Is Snitch still sitting in his chair?
No, I scrammed as soon as he approached.
Okay, he's gonna sit down in his chair in a kind of deliberate manner and go. I suppose you want to wait to see what the healer says when they arrive.
Probably best. My medical skills are not the best. It's battlefield at best.
Oh,
As I said, they'll no bleed out, but they're not getting any better.
Can Mox check on Peach?
Yes, Mox can check on Peach.
Okay, so Mox is gonna look in their pocket. Say,
The little
"Peachy,
little
you
freely
okay?"
head pops out and makes a trilling noise that I can't possibly do. Yeah, like that.
Need soundboards.
Yeah, I know. I need a Peach soundboard, which is not a sentence I ever thought I'd say. Makes a little trilling noise and tries to eat your hand with a sticky tongue.
What is Peach exactly?
Is that a question you're asking in character?
No, in character, Nell will probably be like looking over, like, what has Mox shoved in their pocket? Is it a rat? Do I need to explain why those don't make good pets if you just grab them off the street?
If you want, do you want a description or do you want to roll me to see if you know what it is?
I mean, I've got knowledge arcana and no other knowledges, so it's probably
Knowledge arcana is the one that you would need.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's nice. I thought it might be nature. Well, let's see.
Nope.
Well, that was a shit roll, wasn't it? 10.
I was going to say it's very hard for you to fail this roll, but congrats. You successfully failed. It looks like a very tiny dragon that is entirely green and has a kind of like a frill around it, and apparently a sticky tongue. It is approximately the size of, I believe I said to Viv, I believe I called it the size of a guinea pig.
Yeah.
But perhaps, possibly slightly more accurate, is about the size of a bearded dragon. For those of you who have held /petted/laughed at one. it is still wearing a tiny harness.
Has
A
Mox had
peach-coloured
Which
harness.
is peach coloured.
Has Mox had this thing the entire time and I've just not noticed? This is what Nell is thinking right now. Just like, how did I miss this?
So, Peach seems fine. After about a minute or so after you get there, there's a knock on the door. And Hemlock tells him to come in, and a very familiar little green face pops around the edges. Go, you wanted something shared? Oh, it's you guys. Hi.
Juniper.
It's Juniper.
Poor Juniper.
Juniper comes in and is like, are
Hi,
you guys
Juniper.
injured again? I thought oh, you have friends.
Yeah, we're kind of fine, sort of, maybe. Yes, we're fine.
You guys are
Fingers
all right
crossed.
Huron just slightly growls and continues removing the leather armor.
though. I just, you guys all right? You're not hurt again, right? Yeah, no, good. Sorry if I got a bit snippy in the heat of battle. I do not like fighting at all. It makes me very snippy.
No one likes fighting.
I do.
Oh, Snitch
Depends
likes
what-
fighting.
Depends why you're doing it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. A lot of people seem to agree. I'm a bit of a pacifist myself.
We have one yes, a maybe, and a no. And Nell is yet saying anything.
Right, what do you need me to do? Oh, healing these guys, presumably.
So we can talk to them.
Right, alright, cool. She goes to the dwarf. Puts her hands on him. Kind of move the hands around. You know this guy is dying, right?
He shouldn't be.
We do now.
Well, I mean, she puts one of her enormous goblin ears onto his chest. Because they have huge ears. Just goes. I mean, he's got a heartbeat, but it's like barely there.
Can you help him?
I can try, I guess. Potions. Could you just, you, Mox, come here. Help,
Yes.
come up with this. Can you just, like, hold his nose and, like, tip his head back ever so slightly? Right, cool. She pulls the mouth open. After, it takes her a while to find it. It's kind of fingers going through beard for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I found it! Then tips it down his throat.
Mock is intent on helping. Just
And then, right, just hold his mouth closed as well. Okay. This is bad. Let go of his nose. Alright, cool. Massages his neck. I don't think this is working.
what's meant to happen?
Heart attack, I think. No, no. I mean, I didn't think you did, but I mean, he's. Hang on. Does something that may be considered rather disgusting. So, this is your forewarning. She pulls open his mouth. She puts 2 fingers down it, and like looks like she's trying to get them in his throat. Then it goes high as a kite. Don't think he's taking the come down very well. Ugh.
You
So
mean
they drugged them.
Probably.
Make it easier to control them, maybe.
Just kind of
Drugged and
massaging the neck.
hypnotized?
Sorry, what was that?
Drugged and hypnotized?
I don't know anything about hypnotizing, I'm afraid, mate. Sounds like a
Or
magic thing
I.
to me.
But maybe they could
Massaging
make
the
it
neck.
easier with a drug, make it more difficult to resist or something.
drugs are bad?
It can be.
She puts her ear on the chest again. I realize I'm going off screen to do that. She's like, eh. She's like, I don't. You, goblin, come here. The goblin's like,
It's okay. It's okay to talk, Mom. Juniper's a friend.
you just breathe on me. He does. She kind of takes a large inhale and is like, oh, man, lay off the garlic. Oh. How much of the last day do you remember? He's like, what day is it? She tells him the date. Shakes his head and is like, none of it. None of it. I remember yesterday. Not today, apparently. Nope. She's like, yeah, I'd say he was drugged. Bit hard to tell. Boy needs to change his diet. I don't know if he'd just be chewing raw garlic bushes or something, but whew. She goes over to the hobgoblin and just kind of pries open his mouth and sniffs inside. She's like, yep. There's a little bit of drug in that one. Not as much, though.
What type of drug?
I think it's sting root.
Do
Mean anything to anyone?
Yeah, do I know what that is?
Knowledge nature.
Mock stage whispering to the rest of the group.
If anyone wants to roll a knowledge
Heal.
nature or a heal check, or maybe nobody's got anything alchemy wise, do they?
No, unless I know something off the top of my head from having lived in the big city.
I might as well roll knowledge nature
I
since I
got
have it.
18 on a heal.
Okay.
15 on knowledge nature.
All right. Sting root, Mox, is a plant, which you could probably gather.
The root that
You
stings.
can gather it because it's a plant, and
You know that the flowers are edible. The stalks are edible. They're not like super tasty or anything, but they're pretty nutritious and they're quite good in a salad. But you must never eat the root, which looks like a sort of lime green ginger root, sort of chunky root thing. You know that sometimes the elders use them, but you don't know why. I'm just assuming they're called elders. I don't know what you would actually call them. The people in charge.
Oh, the justices.
The justices, yes. The justices would sometimes use them for things, but you don't know why. Like when the plant was harvested, you'd take that part to the justices. In a slightly unorthodox move, I'm going to use your background as well as your role, Huron, to inform you that you know what sting root is, the root of sting root is used for. You are not possibly aware that it's edible because it's not delicious. I don't know.
That's not meat. Why would a dwarf eat that?
It's not even fruit. Like, you know, a dwarf's going to have to be in some serious trouble before they start chewing.
It's a meat or
flowers.
a mushroom. That's it.
But you are aware that the root is used in alchemical potions for inducing, shall we say, a very angry state among certain fighting types.
Sting root would do that. Aye.
It is, you said you got 18, yeah?
18, yeah.
Yeah. It is the main alchemical component of the alchemical potion, I guess, known as rage drops. Which to have a mechanical effect of giving barbarians extra rage, I believe, is the technical term. So this is the main component of that.
Aye. I knew someone that used to drink an extract or something that used sting root. He tended to lose himself in combat, and that made it easier.
The thing is, it doesn't taste mixed or anything. It just tastes like the root smells. I don't know. You should ask Hannah. She'd know.
Well, they've just been chewing it out of the ground.
Maybe
giving it concentrated.
I mean,
make it work better or something.
If it does what I'm pretty sure it does, and if it does what you say it does, and they've not been having it mixed, I don't think I can save that guy.
That'll be why the justices kept it away from us. It's too dangerous.
Not to be used in a controlled way.
I'm gonna heal your hobgoblin.
Your heart's got to go.
Just sort of pours the another potion down the hobgoblin's throat, muttering about the waste of a potion on the dwarf.
Mox is gonna go
In a
with
kind
the
of
dwarf.
sad way, being like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mox will go with the
it's not
dwarf
gonna
and just
work.
just give him a little pat on the beard. Just, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna untie the dwarf.
The hobgoblin abruptly wakes up. It's like half spluttering out the potion. He's awake. He's awake. Awake's not back. Awake is your bag. Awake is not my bag.
Is this what was meant to happen?
I think he's healed. He seems healed. I'm gonna be over here behind the desk. Look, Ekmal, come with me.
I mean, the hobgoblin's still tied up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hobgoblin kind of uses the wall, sit themselves up properly.
Anybody speak goblin?
Yeah.
He speaks common.
Doesn't mean he's going to.
Hemlock appears to be guarding the two goblins.
Mox
They've
will
just got to hide behind his desk.
address the hobgoblin in goblin. Just, hello. Are you feeling okay? Is that a yes?
That's how I don't want to respond.
Can I use diplomacy?
Sure.
Try and convince him that I'm a friend.
You can do your best.
That's a 22.
Haron Redcliffe, Ensign. I recognize no authority other than the Council of Five.
I look at the sheriff.
Yeah, I would say if that was that in goblin or
Right.
common?
It was in Goblin.
Okay, right. Yeah, Mox will relate that. Just
Oh yeah, because I don't
directly and
Well.
with confusion inflection.
I'm assuming that's their ruling body.
Well, no,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna when he
I'll make-
translates.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. When he translates that, I'm gonna look at Hemlock, see if they know what that is.
Council of the Five Tribes. The tribal authority for the goblinoid tribes in the area. There's one from each tribe, hence the Council of the Five.
Should we take the
Well,
goblin to them?
Redcliffe. We are in a position of having to discern your willingness to participate in the raid you were just a part of. It is apparent that some people, however, are doing so against their will. People have died. Property has been destroyed. Crimes have been committed.
You hurt people.
Your attitude seems to indicate to me that you couldn't care less. Which would mean that you face the full gravity of those charges. If I'm not much mistaken, Sheriff.
Sheriff goes, that's pretty much exactly how this works. Unfortunately, we do have to contact the Council of Five before we can charge him with anything. That's the rule.
Then we do that.
In the same way you'd have to contact the Council of the Chandra and if I committed a crime.
But you're the sheriff.
Which is why I tend not to commit crimes. Or possibly because I tend not to commit crimes. One of the two.
Visible with like cogs moving.
Well, guess he's going in the cell.
Please.
Unless there's any information you'd like to give us. Anything to indicate that he wasn't a willing participant?
Guys, should I try to be scary at him?
No, dear.
I don't think we're likely to get anything of use.
Can I get a sense motive off anyone who's watching, which is probably all of you?
18.
Oh, hell no.
Probably not. No, 9.
I'm
Snitch?
too busy scrutinizing something else with my 7.
That was a 9, and I'll give you a hint at what my minimum is. It's a 9.
Nell, what was that you got?
18. I don't get
18.
any bonuses to that shit. That was just a good roll.
Yeah, obviously.
When Mox said, "Should I try and scare them?" the hobgoblin's fairly impassive face kind of went, just kind of a little bit concerned about this concept. Like, no, big hard man, me. Big hard man. But was now not looking at Mox.
Huron's gone back to donning
Actually-
the chainmail.
Actually, on second thoughts,
Nell?
come here a minute, Mox.
Hmm?
Come here a minute, Mox.
Yeah. What is it?
I really didn't want to do it this way, you know, mate. Still don't have to. If you just want to open up your mouth. Mox tear his arms off.
I'm being scary!
Can one of you or both of you roll me an intimidation check?
I'm gonna roll it
I'm pretty sure tear his arms off is like peak intimidation.
27.
No? I don't know if you're assisting. I think Mox is
assist.
maybe the one doing the intimidation.
I assist with a 16.
Just a reminder, the lowest on intimidation I can do is 11. So
Snitch jump up on the desk and start going, tear them off, tear them off.
Hemlock does kind of roll his eyes at Snitch, but he's not stopping you.
you're just rolling up bits of paper so you can make little like megaphones. Tear them off! Tear them off!
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no need for that. There's no need for that.
I'm gonna put like a hand on Mox's stomach, just like.
The hobgoblin, Redcliffe, is staring at Mox. Like, there's no need for that. I mean,
the full-on like berserk crazy eyes going.
Huron like picks up the chainmail, drops it over himself, turns around. Maybe you should tell us a bit more.
what? Like what? I'm not. I'm not Snitch.
No,
that's
he's
That's
Snitch.
Confused hobgoblin face.
I mean, brr.
What? What do I have to tell you to make the morrow not tear my arms off?
Well, you have to tell us whether you were a willing participant, and if you were willing, who you were working for and why.
I may have significantly changed my mind in the last 5 minutes. I guess you could say I was one.
Okay.
Who hired you or otherwise for this raid?
Well, he's sort of already told us who he answers to, hasn't he? It was
Yes.
them. It wasn't them. Interesting. So who else do you answer to then?
You were
Chief.
lying.
The chief.
Catch.
Catch. I'm gonna look at Hemlock like,
Hemlock's.
Do you get as a local?
Yeah, knowledge local.
Yeah.
See if anyone knows who Catch is.
Nope.
Hemlock doesn't know.
Back into the dice bag we go.
It's a continuation of last
is it the
week.
same one from last week that was
that
ticking
was
you
two
over?
nat ones in a row.
Told you, fridge them. But yeah, I got 14 because I have good knowledge, but not when I roll bad.
I mean, it's a goblinoid name. Sounds fairly goblin-y.
Not overly familiar with the leaders in this area.
And Hemlock's
I
like,
had-
I thought I was,
The
but
guards in the caravan spoke about a few of them, but I don't recognise the name.
look, catch. Chief gave all the orders. We were just following orders. So I got to keep my arms.
In a bag?
That doesn't sound very fun. I'd
You
rather they
can-
were on
Imagine
me.
it wouldn't be.
You can keep your arms nice and attached. As long as you cooperate with the sheriff in any additional questions he has for you.
But he's a human.
And I'm a dwarf. They're a Moro.
And I'm a badass.
Cheese and a treat. Never even seen one of them before.
I don't even
What's
know
your
what
point?
They're not, people.
You're not from Maprog. Why are you talking
Fuck
like this?
is Maprog?
Exactly. You don't know the purity of the blood, the revolutionary uprising that will bring our races to the forefront. Where are you from?
You sound like the chief.
What?
You sound like the chief. That's how he talks.
Mox, we need to have a conversation later.
Aye.
That's not a good thing.
Agreed.
That's not a good thing.
Alright, well, how about this?
Guys, that's not a good thing.
You
can-
Guys.
How about
Thought
this?
my history racially was a bit suspect.
Guys. I'm really worried now.
How about this? If you don't want to talk to the sheriff, that's fine. We'll get someone else to talk to you, but they will be paid in one arm.
Guess I could talk to the sheriff.
Mhm.
I could do
Wise
that.
man.
The sheriff goes, "Oh, it's fine. You won't be talking to me. You're talking to the jailer. My good friend. My very, very good friend." So, I'm going to take this guy down to the cells.
Mm-hmm. You get all the information you need or want out of him.
I'm sure I will. You see what you can get out of this one. Points behind his desk, where there is a cowering goblin. Actually, there are two.
I'm gonna take the dwarf back to the temple if you don't mind.
Seems like a
Ellis.
sensible idea.
Ellis.
Aye.
All right. You're coming with me, lad. And he just grabs the hobgoblin by the back of the collar, opens his door, nods at you all, and just drags him out. Drags him away.
Hi.
So you have technically three NPCs in the room with you, but one of them is the dwarf who's being removed by Huron to the cathedral.
Did anyone say what was happening with the little, the goblin who we...
Dekek Mal.
Yeah, the I always forget their name. And I don't know how, because it's the most unique name I've ever fucking heard, but yeah.
I mean, he's the one that's currently hiding behind the desk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, what-
Did anyone... Did the sheriff say what was happening to them now? or-
He did originally when you handed him over to the sheriff. The sheriff did, Hemlock did originally say that they would have to contact the Council of Five.
Right, okay.
Which,
I guess Taking Mal just kind of needs to wait here then.
Pretty much. Like we could
Gil,
try and just see what they know, what happened directly before they lost a day. That's about as much as we can do with them.
as Hemlock is leaving the room, Dekek Mal is pushed out from behind the desk, followed by an fucking livid-looking Juniper. Do you know how hard we have worked to get rid of that kind of mindset?
Very.
What is that?
Probably
What is-
about as hard as I have.
Juniper.
What?
What?
No,
What's that?
goblin.
I know what that was. I don't like that.
It's the most archaic mindset I'd ever, and it's something the tribes have tried so hard to get rid of everyone's reputation of us as being all pro-goblin, anti-human for so long, and we thought we were doing really well, but apparently there's some degenerates in the forest. Who knew?
Do you know who Ketch is, Juniper?
Yeah, I do.
Who's Ketch?
He's a chief of the Derrickoon.
A splinter or something.
Taking notes.
Well, I don't think he's been chief of them for that long, so I don't know. I know their chief died recently.
Oh, new management.
Are they one of the 5 or something else?
Yeah, they are.
Right, okay.
They've gone a little extreme.
Apparently so.
That'd be new.
That is very new. They've never been like this before.
Because if they had been, other people would have said something, right? Because that's
They're,
not
yeah,
that's not right.
they're trading partners with Sandpoint. They have been for forever. They're in the forest. They do like the trading with logs and stuff. You looks at the Kekma, who's kind of cowering in a corner. You had better not think like him. Do you think like him? Do you? He's going, no, I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, Ketch is a bit weird,
Well,
but
they're from Thistletop, did they no say?
Yep.
That's
yeah,
another.
from Thistletop.
That's a different place, is it? No.
No. Yes.
No.
Derrickoon's
Yes.
not a place. It's a people.
All right.
And
okay.
Thistletop is
Our main village.
your main your village, right? All right.
Thistletop is the
Along the
Thistletop-
coast, is it? No.
the main settlement of the Derrickoon.
Gotcha.
Do you remember this new chief going to power then?
It's been chief about like a couple months.
And things were okay?
I mean, he's a bit loopy. He's got this weird idea of bringing back some old god or something that nobody worships anymore, and he's
Can
huge
we
friend, powerful priest. Says she talks in his head. Weird guy.
Nell is taking notes with a fucking kind of expression.
That would be pertinent information.
Well, the priests were basically like, well, you can have your little sect of people, but, you know, we're going to continue with the ways that we've had for hundreds of years. And then he seemed okay with it, but apparently he's not okay with it.
Not so much.
Whew. Apparently he's a little bit racist.
Fed you all rage juice. And pushed you out the door.
I mean, that sounds about the size of it.
Now, Dekik, you must tell all of this to the sheriff when they return. Yes. Don't worry, sir. Sheriff seems a good sort.
He's not gonna hurt me, is he?
No, if he does, I'll hurt him.
He's a bit big.
He is.
I mean, I saw the jailer earlier. He's very big.
I need to meet this
Is he
jailer.
huggable?
I wouldn't say so, but then, he was immediately told that I was, one of the people who was in the raid, and, I think Squishable was more what he was thinking of me, and I don't think he meant it in a hug sense. He's got very big feet.
It doesn't sound as though he is the most logical of beings.
He just seems really angry. Though, then again, I'm still surprised that I stabbed you, and your guys are not angry at me, so maybe anger is the logical reason thing right now. I don't know. I'm a woodcutter. I don't know what you want from me.
I've fought people who have been convinced or tricked or whatever too many times.
It's not fun.
No, it isn't. You didn't ken who's guilty.
I also don't have any idea where my family are. That's not fun either.
Well, look, it'll be all right. You tell everything you can think of to the sheriff, and then the sheriff will get in contact with your village and things like that, and will hopefully smooth everything out.
Yeah.
Better informed we are, the better information that they can take back to the Council of Five.
Yeah, and then he can tell them that I didn't mean to do it, and that I'm not a bad person, and neither is Alice.
You certainly don't seem like one. And unfortunately, it's too late for him.
I know. That's fine. I don't think he'd want to know what he did.
Do you know who he worshipped?
Not really. We kind of just waving to know each other.
Fair.
He came to the chapel every week with the rest of us, but there's several gods there, so
Tends to be.
yeah. Not Not Ketch's weird god. I wish I could remember her name. Weird god. Weird.
Was she all body and things and
I don't suppose
the
incandescent. I don't
Yeah,
suppose incandescent
guys.
lady rings a bell.
No, I don't think so.
Good.
The term doesn't ring a bell. She was. I think
Not-
she has 3 eyes. I remember there being the thing about 3 eyes. I don't know if that was her though. That might have been like a what do you call them? The people who pick you up when you're dead.
Psychopomp.
Ah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah,
Can I do a knowledge religion?
you can indeed. Did your book tell you who this might
Yeah.
be?
Do I suddenly remember that in this book, in which is the font of all my knowledge, I know this is? Almost certainly not, because that's an 8.
There are many gods with several eyes.
Yep.
in the book.
Religion is not exactly my forte.
I don't know things.
I know how to build things.
There's from beside the desk. Unless you guys have any more need of me, I'm going to go back and see if anyone needs my healing
Aye,
in the
away.
cathedral.
No, please
Make
help.
yourself
Please help
useful.
people.
I will. I'm going to go check on that kid from earlier. I wonder if he's all right.
Yeah.
If you need anything, give me a shout. Yeah.
Yeah. Juniper.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
other goblin folk here, right?
Yeah.
Could you ask around for things?
I could give it a go. I'm not sure how many of them are Derrickoon.
Just in case they've heard anything.
Yeah.
Got
of course.
family still with the tribes or something like that.
Yeah, I'll go and ask at the quarrel. That's all run by goblins.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juniper.
Juniper heads off. You are left with only one NPC. Are you going to go and do some investigations? Are you going to interrogate the very scared goblins?
I'm going to ask if Dekekma wants a hug.
Yes, please. Be
Just-
gentle. You're a lot bigger than me.
Just very softly, just nestling them into like the sheepskin vest that Mox is wearing. Just
He starts crying softly into you.
Mox, having read about comfort,
Good grief.
knows to say, there. There.
Right, I'm gonna take this one to the temple. Maybe we can get them there before whatever.
Are you all heading to the temple?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mox will cease the hug.
I can make myself useful there as well.
So Kekmal stays and waits for Hemlock to come back and
Yeah.
says that he will tell Hemlock where you've gone.
And Mox reiterates that just tell Hemlock everything. It'll be fine, you know.
Thank you.
Just be okay.
Thank you. And
You-
off you all go. Excuse me.
You are excused.
Back in the streets, things seem to be calmer than before. There are groups of people hurrying around, sort of breaking up burnt stalls and things, picking stuff out of the remains. They don't look like they've done this before necessarily, at least not a lot of the townsfolk. Some of the people you recognize from the caravan, they had stalls, and they are sort of just picking through stuff, and they seem to be good at this. But everyone's kind of just
It
getting
happens.
being very practical about it all.
Caravans, it's an occupational hazard.
Yep.
Mox is going to be
Um,
like taking it all in with quite a bit of interest.
Are there any more like bodies of attackers?
There are a couple of them around, but they seem to be sort of being dragged away by who you guess to be members of the town guard, because they're all in. There's very few people in armor. It's basically any of you that are wearing armor, town guard, and that paladin you saw earlier.
Which Mox definitely is now.
Definitely wearing armor now.
Yeah.
Definitely
Got-
changing some of the studded leather that they found.
Got my
On the
chainmail on now.
Good.
I'm properly armored. I've got
Fancy clothes are
at
off.
least 2 abilities that actually function now.
So, you can make your way back to the cathedral easily enough. There's no one guarding the doors anymore. When you get inside, it is I don't know if any of you during your small amount of downtime that you had in the town, I don't know if any of you have been inside yet. I think Huron, you not been inside yet? No, okay.
I don't think so.
All right, so if nobody's been inside yet, then I must inform you that this cathedral is huge.
Mm.
It's not, well, it's no Notre Dame, but this is a fairly small town.
Mm.
It doesn't have any right having a cathedral this big. God damn it, it's huge.
It's a cathedral.
It's got shrines all the way down both sides. It's got, each of them has their own stained glass window, which appears to, which has either what you either know or guess is a religious symbol or a face or a person on it. They all have
just
a little
Mox's
altar
face.
Underneath. There's candles everywhere. There's a giant stained glass at the top, which seems to have symbols of lots of different gods on it. The amount of stained glass in this place is incredible. You could buy a mansion with this much glass. Like, you could use the money to buy this glass to buy a mansion. It is that. It's huge. At the moment, all the pews appear to, there's sort of wooden pews. They all appear to be pushed to the sides, and there seem to be sort of cots set up with people on them.
Is there a shrine to Torag?
There is not.
What shrines are there? And are they nicely labeled?
They are labeled.
Oh no, I'm making her go into another document.
Yeah, you will have to make me go into the document. It's basically all of the big important deities of this area. Either, like...
Is there a Dorothy one?
There is no Dorothy one.
Shit.
Most of the gods here are gods from non-specific pantheons. It's basically... Almost every race has their own pantheon, but there will also be gods who don't care what race you are. A lot of the gods from the pantheons, the racial pantheons, also don't care what race you are, but they focus more on problems for their specific race. Yes.
Let's just find one of the priests and talk to them about it. See if we can find
a number of people in
the
robes
father
wandering around.
Or like if there isn't something that calls out to him, you'll just go for a cot.
Most of the cots have people. Several of the cots have people in them. They all look. Well, some of them are unconscious or possibly asleep. It is getting into sort of nighttime now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are visibly wounded and bandaged. Some of them do not have visible wounds. They may be less wounded, or it's just hidden under the sheet they're sleeping under. You don't know. A couple of them are, making general noises, and there are a number of people in robes wandering around between them, sort of ministering to them.
We'll just be kind of wandering around.
Whose attention you get.
Mox is wandering around, just absolutely just dazed and dazzled by everything. Every name they read, they're trying to think of if they've read about that and remember what it's god of and why gods are important to people. And hey, maybe some of my friends have these gods, and maybe I should learn more about them. Maybe that's a thing. Will that help? Is that a thing?
An elf in long robes, that are green and grey, I think. Comes over and goes, can I? Oh, is your friend wounded?
It's
Can I help them?
complicated.
They're dying.
We do not
Juniper's
believe
already
that they
checked
can
them.
be helped.
Oh, well, Juniper would be the one that I would call in this particular instance, then. We don't have any other priests of Pharasma on hand. Perhaps I could call the father for you.
If he's not busy.
I will see where the father is. One moment. Swoops off in a very elfy way, gliding across the floor. And a few moments later, Father Xantus, the dwarf you saw earlier, reappears. And just goes, "Oh. Lay them down here. Lay them down here. What happened to your friend? I don't recognize them.
It's
Are they from out of town?"
They're not from here. They're from Thistletop.
Oh,
Juniper's
gosh.
Juniper's already checked him and said that there's nothing that she can do to help.
Ah,
He was, it seems, an unwilling participant in the raid. He was given
You mean
something that overrode his will, and a side effect of that is that his heart is going. His name is Ellis.
all right. Well, I don't know much of the rights of the Derrickoon, but
Or I.
I will do what I can for him.
And
At least make his physical form comfortable.
If you could make sure that his body is kept somewhere, I imagine his family are going to want him back.
Yes, I will make sure that he is tended to. You are the people who jumped in to help stop the raid, are you not?
Probably.
I saw some of your antics from the steps of the cathedral.
Amongst those who helped, I.
I believe you're the only out-of-towners who stepped in. You didn't have to do that.
I think
We thank you.
We did. We had to.
What were the rest of the out-of-towners doing?
Your idea of what constitutes a choice might be different from mine.
Good to know we're in such good hands. Most of the other visitors to the town hid, as is most sensible if you have no ability with fighting.
I mean, I also hated it, but then I followed it up.
Lucky I had my weapons on me.
Not many people who come here for harvest festivals are armed or prepared to do battle. So, for myself and my constituents, I thank you. You saved a great many lives.
Hope so.
As expected.
Indeed. I shall do what I can for this Ellis, you said his name was.
Aye.
I will do what I can for them. Is there anything else I can do for you? He seems to be summoning people with an arm.
How much about gods do you know? Old ones. Old ones.
I like to think a fair amount.
Because there was the hobgoblin said, Radcliffe said that a lady with 3 eyes.
A lady with 3 eyes.
Yeah.
An
That's
old
right.
god once worshipped by the goblins.
Yes, that makes
Possibly.
sense.
From what information, we're assisting Hemlock with questioning a couple of survivors.
He kind of automatically looks up at one of the stained glass windows where there's a giant butterfly. Kind of goes, "You heard my speech at the beginning of the festival, yes?
Yes,
I did.
it was really good.
About the great enemy of our Lady Desna?
I recall, yeah.
It is forbidden to say her name in a holy place.
Quite understandable.
Well, should we step outside?
Yes. Sister Julia, could you?" And there's just one of the other priests comes over and helps the dwarf.
But
He comes outside.
before he goes outside, Huron's going to walk over to the shrine,
Mhm.
to Desna's shrine specifically. He pulls out from his pocket a little clockwork butterfly that he'd spent the afternoon working on, and he just puts it down on the shrine. Sort of looks up at the stained glass, kind of bows his head a bit, and then turns and leaves awkwardly.
The moment you turn away, you get a little tingling down the back of your spine. Like, whew. On the I have a functioning headset. It doesn't just decide to drop of its own accord.
Feeling spicy.
Or maybe I have a poltergeist. Who knows? Who knows? You go out to the steps, which is where Father Xanthus seems to be leading you. If it is who I fear it is, and I am very worried that this name has come up in your investigation, or this description, I suppose, has come up in this investigation.
There's a possibility that a fanatic of some kind has risen to some prominence.
Then I should not speak for the sheriff, but several of their soldiers are still badly wounded inside.
Mm.
And if there is a zealot around, then you may be needed to help bolster the numbers to protect the town for some time more. Because the god,
Yes.
the god you speak of sounds an awful lot like Lamashtu. The goddess of
that name.
Goddess of monsters and nightmares.
They don't sound nice.
She is not. She is the one who, in my story, the one I told at the beginning, she is the one who believed that she had killed Desna and threw her to earth.
Oh.
And that is perhaps the least of her crimes.
So
I need to go to bed.
I suspect you do.
I need a stiff drink and then the same.
I
I
was
need to do some reading.
told to keep an eye out for you.
Who by?
Lady Kajutsu.
Oh,
Ameko?
Ameko. She informed me that if any of you were in need of a room, that there was one at the Rusty Dragon with your name on it.
Oh, yes, we were
No
gonna meet
charge.
her.
We were gonna meet her
Right.
tomorrow, Mox. I'm going back to the tickle.
Do you
We'll
want me to come with you?
Go and
or
grab
should-
my gear. I hadn't actually bought a room for tonight. Never got round to it.
Nell, do you want company or should I get the dragon?
You do what you want, Mox. I think some of your stuff was at the tickle though, so you might need to pick that up.
Okay, I'll get that.
I'll follow Huron.
Okay.
Like Huron, he dips his head into the inn he'd stayed in the night before to pick up his gear, and then heads down towards the dragon. He's never actually been there. He just knows the sort of direction that people kept indicating.
Yep, it's south-ish. It's along the main road from the cathedral.
Mhm.
You can go along the road, and it's really hard to miss because it's one of the biggest buildings in town, and it has a really big Rusty Dragon sign outside it.
I'll
That'd
be the
nice
one
for
then,
Box.
Snitch Eye.
Doesn't have a name on it. It's just the sign of what looks like it's a painted wooden sign that is painted to look like a rusty metal dragon.
It's handy if you can't read.
Very handy if you can't read. Everyone knows
point.
what a rusty dragon is. All right. So, do you spend any time in the tap room, or are you heading straight to bed, or just finding a Mako and getting?
He'll poke his head into the tap room and see what's happening. Like if there's anyone hanging around. If
There is one person in the tap
Oh,
room
no.
that you know. My good sirs, I have missed you. Come, have a drink on me. It has been such a long day. Don't you
Stealth.
do
29.
I thought you shouted help.
Still?
Snitch has disappeared.
It's like,
My good sir, come have a drink with me. It's on me, of course. Couldn't possibly have such heroes as you having to pay for their own liquor.
but why not?
Excellent choice, my friend. Excellent choice. You go and have a sit with Aldern. His manservant doesn't appear to be there,
Gorgeous.
but he does seem to be having a drink with several other people who I'm not going to tell you who they are because they're just people. And
Random tavern goers.
random tavern dudes who found the very rich, very excitable man who was going free drinks and just latched on to him. So he doesn't really know any of these people and will not introduce them to you.
Is there any food?
There isn't food immediately being served, but if you try and nab somebody and ask them, or you're just gonna like 29 stealth your way into the kitchen.
I mean, the latter is tempting, but I don't want to get thrown out.
Especially since you are aware from the lavish meal that happened earlier in the fair, you are aware of who is the chef in this place. It's a Mako.
And she makes good food.
I don't suppose a Mako is
And
around.
she's a murderer.
She's wandering around. She's kind of coming in and out
Oh, shit.
places. She's wandering around.
Like next time I see her coming through, I'll kind of wave to get her attention.
Ah, hi. You see, you're making friends. Good.
Hi. The father mentioned you might have a room available.
Indeed, I do. I have kept aside several rooms for you and your friends, if you were interested in staying the night.
I think there was two of us. Myself and Snitch
Funny.
might be taking you up on that, but Nell's got Nell has a
Previous engagement at her place of employment?
or just a bed at her previous employment or new employment. Aye,
Interesting.
she's got a bed.
It's a shame that it's probably shut right now.
Okay.
Your tall friend, Mox, wasn't it?
Aye, they might be coming here.
Oh.
And they were picking up gear.
Well, they're more than welcome to a room. We have plenty to spare, as most of the visitors to town appear to have run away.
Probably fair.
A lot of them are sleeping in their caravans, apparently. Probably because I don't allow weapons in my bar. Not drawn, anyway.
To know. he says with like 4 weapons visible on him.
Yeah, she did pause and kind of look you up and down and be like, not drawn, anyway. I'm pretty sure I can trust you not to start a fight, but if I do, you're out on your ear.
You can trust me to end the fight.
Not if I get there first.
No,
Not in my bar, friend. Right, so yes, you and your invisible friend, if he happens to be in the vicinity, are more than welcome to a room. I did have 2, so you can have 1 each, but there's more than 1 bed in each of them, so if you're sharing, that's also fine.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Oh, and don't be too much of a burden on our good friend Alden here's purse strings. I imagine he didn't bring much of his money to town. After all, he was only coming for the fair.
That's fine.
Right, Lord
I'll
Foxglove.
finish this drink and then get myself away to sleep. It's been a long day.
Just nab the bartender. They'll tell you where the room is.
Grand.
I should go and make sure that my brother isn't up to anything. She kind of wanders back off into the kitchen. Does she find Snitch in the kitchen?
Yeah, do I find any pie?
Roll me a perception, see if you can find any pie in the kitchen.
15.
She's gonna pull him out the larder by the scruff of his neck, like...
You do indeed find some cold meat pie in the larder. And as you put your paws on it, and they are indeed paws, your little paw hands, you are indeed dragged out of the larder by the scruff of your neck. Excuse me.
I was gonna ask.
That was the most child caught with their hand in a cookie jar voice I have ever heard. Mako just kind of starts laughing, puts you down. Save some of it for your friend, eh? He's had a bit to drink.
Will do.
Or he may have had a bit to drink. Aldern's not buying the cheap stuff.
The NPCs in this town have a few levels on us at this point.
Some do. Mako does. Yes, so can it be assumed that everybody eventually makes their way to bed one way or another?
When Nell gets back to the tickle, she's just gonna immediately set about setting up her shrines. And then just, like, sit in front of them for a bit. Mox can stay if they want.
Mox would probably end up going to the Rusty Dragon.
When Mox shows up, they are shown the same hospitality and told that there is a room for them.
Yeah, they'll go straight up to their room, but they'll take out their book of all knowledge, try to find anything that was ever written about any of the gods that they've just seen in the cathedral.
You'll probably be able to find a lot.
Just trying to do some, like, get some background knowledge, some working knowledge, so they know why this Lamesh 2 is so such an outlier.
Yes. Okay. From your reading before you fall asleep on your book, you can find out a few things that are fairly common knowledge. I'm not going to give you a knowledge check for it at all because you have the book physically in front of you and you are spending a good amount of time on it. So you find out that Lamashtu is a demon lord who has essentially... Most demon lords are worshipped with, like, by demon worshippers who would not consider themselves maybe a church as such. There's a couple of them who've surpassed that and become kind of gods in their own right. One of them is Asmodeus. We do not mess with Asmodeus. And one of them is Lamashtu, who is god of monsters. Some species have in the past, back when there was a little bit more strife between the different races as everyone kind of tried to get a bit more territory. Before there was civilization here, before people spoke the same language and trade agreements had happened and all that sort of thing. Back in the dark times. Various races who were not human, or elves, or dwarves, had, how do I put this? Had enough of being called monsters by said humans, elves, and dwarves, and decided if they were going to be called monsters anyway, they might as well worship the goddess of monsters. One of these races was the goblins. They hung on to her a bit longer than several others did, but not a lot longer. Your book doesn't even recognize that there would possibly be cults of her still around in goblins. They're normally, if you find a cult of her, it's a cult. Like spooky robes, sacrificing people on altars, that kind of shenanigans. She's very much a demon first and a god second, and she has a really weird idea of beauty. Her idea of the most monstrous creature you can think of. Don't know what that is for Mox. Something he's seen a picture of in the book, maybe. Is what Lamashtu would consider the epitome of beauty. She's sometimes worshipped as a goddess of motherhood, but that is incredibly dangerous. She's sometimes called the abyssal midwife. If you pray to her while you're giving birth, you and the baby will survive the birth. Baby is not going to come out right. And that is all the book knows, because that is so niche. Like, actually what happens, so niche. So that is what you discover. You can find out stuff about all the other gods. Most of them have portfolios like luck, or trade, or art, the arts and beauty in the case
Things
of
that Mark will know the concepts of, but not have ever had a god described to them.
The two that are on the stained glass at the front of the cathedral, you now know are dedicated to Gozre, who is the god of the sea and also nature. So it's a leaf with a drip of water coming off it. Sea and nature, Gozre. And Shelin, who is the goddess of beauty and the arts, which is the bird with the rainbow tail. And there are a lot of others. Desna is the big one who's worshipped here. Pharasma, you notice, didn't have a shrine. You find Pharasma in your book. She's a fairly commonly worshipped god, but she's not really here. She doesn't have a shrine.
Remember Juniper being described as a priest of Pharasma.
Priest of Pharasma. Yeah. She's the goddess of, sometimes described as goddess of death and sometimes described as goddess of the dead. She's kind of the god of psychopomps. Like, she makes sure you go to the right place when you die. Crash course on gods over.
Newbies, you're welcome. Veterans, I'm sorry.
Veterans, if I got any of that wrong, come at me, bro.
Oh, what's up, Cat?
I was muted. I put a fun summary in the chat.
Yay! All right, so is there anything else anyone else would like to do before they go to sleep other than eating their body weight in cold meat pie and somehow getting away from Aldern without having any more drinks?
Here's a slice for you, Rod.
Mox
Rest
is
of the
gonna have
pie
a
for a snitch.
Mox is gonna have a small crisis over the knowledge they've garnered because of how much this sounds like where they came from.
Are you sharing a room with the others, or are you taking the advantage of there being 2 rooms available to you? Or in fact, are all three are who's sharing a room? Because you've got 2 rooms and there's 3 of you.
Well, Mox will just be in one of the rooms, whatever closest room there was.
Okay, cool.
Whoever goes to bed first, I will just go into their room.
Okay, so that'll probably Mox then.
Yeah, so Snitch and Mox are in the same room, and Huron walked in and kind of went to the next room. Not a bed here. All right. So, morning comes with very little fanfare. People seem to be sort of getting back to what they were doing. And there have been a couple of... you do see some sad faces, essentially. There's a sort of somber air to the town today, as people are sort of going about their business, but skirting the place where the smouldering remains of one of the wagons still is, and trying not to look at the bloodstains that are being scrubbed off the floors, that sort of thing. General post raid cleanup is occurring, and everyone is sort of trying to go about their day to day. What are you up to?
I suggest that we, out of character, take a break.
Yes, indeed. That sounds like an excellent plan.
I literally just put a sneaky little message, be like, we're taking a break.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan. We'll take our break now, and they can decide if they're doing any boring stuff that you guys don't need to know about in the morning. And then we shall come back in about 10 minutes. We're leaving on a peaceful one this time rather than a cliffhanger. Right. Bye, everyone. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Bye-bye.
Known role-playing game that's got
The stream was muted because I pressed the button and my mouse double-clicked and muted it again. Thank you for letting us know, Hyperion.
Honestly, you get to find out what I was doing with my hand of just counting things. I gotta do it again.
I'm very sorry.
Hi, friends. I was telling you about the gods in the cathedral.
No, cancelled. Stream is over.
Stream is over forever. Cat is cancelled. We're gonna find we're currently auditioning for the part of Nell.
No!
No, for the part of Cat.
So I was
Nell's
going through.
fine. Don't drag her into this.
True. I was going through the gods in the cathedral really quickly. Slightly less quickly now because I have to explain to you what I was doing and I have to do it twice. So we have Erastil, god of civilization; Abadar, god of trade; Gosray, god of the sea and nature; Shellin, goddess of beauty and the arts; Sarenrae, who's goddess of the sun; and Desna, who's goddess of dreams and luck. And I was saying, for those of you who've come over from a knowledge of the world's best-known role-playing game, the one that's got lots of D's in it, that one.
Got at least 2.
At least 2. The god of the sun in that is known as Pelor, and Pelor, when they made the move to Pathfinder, revealed themselves to be trans, and Sarenrae is basically just female Pelor. So
they are exactly the damn same.
We support Sarenrae in her new life.
Support our trans queen.
Yep. So yeah. There you go. Now you know a random factoid about the Pathfinder world.
Right. So, getting back into it, Nell's probably gonna go to the... Actually, Nell's gonna have to check if she's required for anything at work before she goes to the dragon.
Do you go and find your boss?
Yeah, I'll go find Kay.
Yeah. Am I rotated on today?
Am I rotated on? Do you need me today?
What? Oh, yeah, no one's rotated on today, hon. We're closed. We're closed today.
Okay, right, that's fine.
Yeah, I think people are just kind of...
All our customers are dead.
A lot of things will be closed today, I think. Yeah, people kind of getting over the shock, I think.
Understandable, yes.
Oh, Hemlock was here. Said he wanted to speak to you when you were around.
Did he say about what?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna go find my friends at the Rusty Dragon. My friends. Oh no. Okay. Bye, Kay.
Bye, hon. Stay safe. All right. So, what are you doing with your morning? There is a lot of discussion happening in the tap room, which you will know before any of you reach it, because it is very loud. Seems like half the bloody town are in the tap room of the Rusty Dragon today. You suspect the other half may be in the other tap rooms in the town, as the bars appear to be the only things that are open.
What time is our boar hunt?
Ah, yes, you were not actually told, but you are staying at the same tavern as him, the same inn as Lord Foxglove, so you can ask when you find him.
Mox will have gone downstairs and then heard there's lots of people in the tap room, and then gone back up to bed.
Okay. Is anyone going into the tap room itself?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll go into the tap room.
Let's go for breakfast.
Okay, so breakfast is served to you, obviously. The serving person who comes and gives you food does not ask for any coin. Buggers off really quickly if you try to give her any.
Not even a tip.
Nope. There is a lot of conversation going on in the tavern, some of which you cannot help but to overhear, with or without a perception check. Would you like to do a perception check to see how much you hear, or are you good to eat your breakfast and only hear what you have to? What you cannot avoid.
He's not going to be particularly trying to avoid. He'll be half listening, half engaging, half eating.
That's 3 halves.
Yeah, listening and engaging are one thing, though.
Okay. Snitch, are you also in the tap room having breakfast?
Yes. I'm in the tap room having breakfast, and with a 19 on my perception, I'm actively eavesdropping on people.
Fantastic.
Yeah, 22 on perception as well.
Okay, so there's a lot of rumors going around as to what happened yesterday. People don't seem to know too much about the survivors of the raid, the ones that you captured. They seem to be... You reckon that the rumors would be vastly different if they knew about all of that. So all the people who know about that kind of thing seem to have kept their mouths shut, really. They seem to be very concerned for neighboring areas. They do actually talk about Thistletop, Sweet Meadow, which all of you know from the super secret intro campaign where I checked that you were all compatible and going to be friends. That's the small town, the small village that you guys went to, Sweet Meadow. They also speak about Underhome, which is the other one you learned about in that adventure. And all the various people who live out in the hinterlands, which is the area you passed through in the caravan.
Just all the outlying farms and stuff.
Yeah. Basically, this is the only large settlement in this area of Varizia. It's kind of almost smack bang in the middle between 2 other large settlements, but there's nothing kind of further inland. So they seem to be worried about all of the settlements that don't have walls, for example. This place does have walls. Not very good ones, but they have some of them.
On at least one side.
On at least one side, the north. Everyone's talking about... There is one guy in the tavern who is talking about how they should have known that they would be betrayed by their neighbors, because no one can trust those filthy goblins. Before either of you can react to this kind of racism going on, Ameko has already appeared. She strides across the width of the tavern, and the man who said that is out of the window. Doesn't even This is
That's
not
what we do to racists around here. Defenestration.
Can I be
Booted out
like?
the window.
Can I be like walking up the street towards the Rusty Dragon, and
you
then
just
this
see a
man
man.
just lands at my feet?
Land comes flying
Was-
through the window, and there's
the window
no glass in
open?
the window. There's no glass in the window. It's just shutters. So the shutters kind of bang open as this man goes flying through it and lands at Nell's feet. And Ameiko's just standing in the doorway, going, "Don't come back." Morning.
Morning.
Well handled. Goes back to his breakfast.
Can't be having that sort of talk in my pub.
Seeing Ameiko's reaction to the new skid mark, I'm just gonna like step over him very delicately, pull up my skirts a little bit, and then go inside the inn. I don't know what he did, but if Ameiko's that mad, it must have been bad.
You are all greeted. Eventually, Ameiko will come over and say something like, "Where's your friend? Mox.
Where is Mox?
I was hoping to talk to them. They're not here? Oh, still upset. Oh well. To each their own.
Not one for crowds, I think.
Ah, well. Yeah, after the raid, everyone's kind of either staying at home or getting drunk.
I doubt there's much else to do than they didn't want to be in the streets where
Most of the shops are closed.
what is
today.
happening there.
Here we
Ameiko?
lost.
Has Sheriff Hemlock been by asking about us today?
Not this morning.
Okay.
I think he was a bit busy.
I'd planned on going to stick my head in once breakfast was done with.
Well, he came by the tickle and asked me to come by. I was surprised he didn't come here.
We just
I
haven't
said-
got round to it yet.
Bit busy.
I'm gonna go upstairs and check on Mox.
Fair. It's Ameiko will give you directions to the room.
I'll go up and knock on the door. Mox? It's Nell.
Oh, hi now. Hi.
Are you awake? Am I allowed to come in?
Yeah, no, you can come in.
She's gonna open the door and like grin a little bit and be like, "Are you awake after you've already spoken?"
Like, are you awake? No.
I would have accepted no as an answer, but you know.
I have done that myself on many an occasion.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm fine.
You don't seem fine.
That might be a lie.
Well, we all do it. I'm gonna go over and sit down. Like a decent space from them, but still quite close. Do you want to talk about it?
No, not. No. It's okay. It won't be a problem.
Okay.
If you're here, is everyone awake? Is things happening?
Everyone's downstairs having food and breakfast. Ameiko threw a man out of her window.
That's what that
Hemlock.
noise was.
Yeah, Hemlock came by the tickle and asked to speak to us, to me. I'm not entirely sure. And we were going to talk to the Foxglove character today, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah. We should do that. Sorry.
It's all right.
They'll start getting up and they seem a little jittery. Okay, let's go. Can you go so I know where we're going?
Mm-hmm. I'll lead the way, basically.
I'm assuming Peach had plenty of things to eat during the night.
Oh yes.
Good.
Well fed. Having a snooze. It helps you get whatever sleep you got. So, are Mox and Nell coming back down to the tap room?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That puts you all in the same place, which makes my job very much easier. Oh, Mox! I was
Hi.
hoping I'd see. Are you all right? You look a bit pale.
Oh, I'm fine. Sorry, I didn't sleep very well. I was up reading late. It's okay.
Get some food down you, kid. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
There's eggs today, this morning. Eggs are the special, eggs and bacon. How'd you like your eggs?
happy.
I'll do my best.
If Mox seems amenable to it, I'll like squish them in between like Huron me or Snitch and me, just like get them in the middle of us and just
Yeah. No, Mox is
just sort of
just letting
bookend Mox
themselves
a
be
little
moved.
bit.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot of between, because remember how small Snitch is compared
Yeah.
to
Listen.
After a few minutes, Mox and Nell, some food arrives for you. Nell, you get a breakfast, like Huron and Snitch have got.
Nice.
Mox, you get a breakfast that has been made into a smiley face.
That's nice.
The eggs are the eyes, and the bacon is the smile. And there's-
It's genuinely just touch. Just it's happy. Just so delicately start eating.
I suppose it goes without saying that this is food from the Rusty Dragon, therefore it's really good.
Taste of happy too.
All right, so you know that at some point today you are supposed to be going on a hunt with Alder and Foxglove. Lord Foxglove has invited you on a hunt. He seems very
Boar
excited
hunt.
about this. A boar hunt, yes, because there's a boar that has been bothering people, and he's like, and he is a
Because
noble,
it's a boar.
and he would have taken it whether it was bothering people or not.
He's
you-
one of those.
Well, he's a noble. What do you want?
Yes, that's what I meant by one of those.
One of those.
When
An aristocrat.
when he did mention the hunting, it was the first time that Huron hadn't just discounted whatever he was saying. He mentioned hunting, he went,
Like, maybe you're not completely worthless.
Nell's like pretty much expecting to go along on this hunt and essentially be, you know, like those fancy ladies who would go along on hunts with the king and that, and they would
To make them
basically
look
just
good.
be, yeah, they were basically just there to look good and to applaud the man when he shot an animal.
You are the captivated audience and arm candy.
Yeah, Nell is essentially expecting that that's going to be her role in this.
All right, I have to ask, how is everyone dressed today? Is there armor?
there is armor.
There is armor.
Yeah, like Mox
Learned your
may not
lesson.
have- Mox may not have immediately put on their armor when they woke up, but if they're like before they head out, they'll put armor on.
Okay, so what is your first plan of the day? Because Nell also is aware that they have another. She has another thing.
Is Foxglove here?
No,
Okay, he's
Rogers is though.
all right. I'm gonna go and find Rogers. I'm gonna
He
go
appears
talk
to
to
be getting
Rogers.
plates of food. You suspect he may be taking them to his boss.
Rogers, does his lord rise late? God damn it, I wish I was half as smooth as Nell is in my head. Right, anyway.
I'm gonna assume that Nell got that right the first time.
Yep.
Yes, generally, yes. So I'm bringing him breakfast to make sure he's awake. We have a long day ahead of us today.
Is there a time that you intend to set off for this hunt so that we may meet you?
We were thinking about 10 bells.
10 bells? Excellent. What time is it now, GM?
It is currently 8 bells.
Excellent. That gives us
2 hours.
at least 2 hours to go and talk to Hemlock.
And meet by the north gate, he said. He told me to tell you if I was to run into you, meet by the north gate. And don't worry about transportation. He has sorted all of that.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much, Rogers.
Of course. Excuse me, ma'am.
I'll go and tell the others. We've got about 2 hours before we're expected to go for the hunt. So I want to go and talk to Hemlock because he came to my place of work. And at the very least he wanted to talk to me. I don't know if he wanted to talk to everybody else. I'm going. Feel free to come with me.
I'd intended to anyway.
Yeah,
Might as well.
Mox was gonna go with now.
Okay.
Nell looks slightly relieved when you all say that you're going to come with her.
You're
It's
heading
not
to
a
the-
lot, but it's noticeable.
Heading to the garrison building, the watch house, where you were before in the office, I'm assuming. Yeah, okay. Now you do indeed. You find a young woman sitting behind a desk by the door. There was no one there when you came past yesterday, but there is now someone at this desk. And they go, yes, hello? Oh! You'll be wanting to see the sheriff, I assume?
Yes, please.
One moment. kind of dash off. And they basically just come back out of a door almost immediately and go, he's free now. They're free now. They will see you now. So this way. They lead you to the same office you were in before. Hemlock is kind of pacing. They're not sitting in their chair.
Sheriff?
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you all. I'm glad the word got to you. I have a proposition for you. If you're willing to hear me out on it. None of you were planning on... Were you planning on staying?
Well, I live here now, so yes.
I had considered it.
Didn't have plans. I don't have plans.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. Okay. So... We're very grateful for everything that you did for us yesterday. The number of people who would not be here today without you. Little Aaron Barrett, for example, who I believe you pulled out from under a table. So... And he's just the one you directly saved. Your actions very much helped rout the threat, and without them, without your actions, the fight would have gone on a lot longer, and who knows what damage may have been done. So, we lost a couple of soldiers yesterday. We lost a couple of guards. And many more of them are gravely wounded. The clerics believe that they will pull through, but they will be recovering for some time. So we are very short of people who know how to wield a weapon properly. There's the militia, of course, but relying on them is a dangerous prospect. They are trained, but they are not... Most of them are bakers and farmers, and it is too much to ask of them.
Not many soldiers.
Very, very few.
Well, that makes my decision for me.
If anything like this were to happen again, we would be swamped. We don't have the numbers. We don't have the numbers to the extent that I'm making the trip to Magnamar in order to persuade the authorities to give us some more guards for the moment until ours can recover.
Good plan.
I don't know if you've heard some of the rumors going around town yet.
A couple of them, aye.
I suspect from your attitude you've not heard the one I'm actually referring to. You've gotten something of a name for yourselves. People are calling you the Sandpoint Heroes. I see none of you had heard of this yet.
So, Huron has no bluff. I'm going to roll it.
Bluff Hemlock, and I will roll his...
Okay.
I will roll his
I actually
sense
rolled
motive.
quite well.
Their sense motive. We'll get their gender right eventually.
I was wondering. I was like, I swear they were the they.
I
But you
thought
started
I
he,
keep
and
saying,
was
saying he.
I
but
thought
they're
I
they.
thought they just went by both.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he's a he they. That's all right.
I keep trying to correct myself. Most of the villagers are in fact getting it right. It is they. I just keep getting it wrong. Mostly because I'm reading off a PDF. Which that is not their gender. Because the PDF's boring and only has people of two genders. So screw that.
That sounds fake.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Alright, what did you roll on your bluff, and what are you bluffing with?
I got 19. It's effectively to guard his expression at the point where he says he has made a name for himself.
Hemlock definitely looks at you, but you're not sure if they've figured out, if they've seen through the face.
Effectively, the colour drains from his face for a split second after he says that, and then he kind of, sort of passes gauntlet over his face and maintains his composure.
The children are already making up games. The heroes who came out of nowhere to save Sandpoint. It is not often that strangers who do not live here stick out their necks for us.
Why
So-
not?
Because it's dangerous, Mox.
Yes. It's very dangerous. We don't get that many adventurers here. I mean, we have a Mako, obviously, but she's retired, so.
Mock does not seem pleased with either of these answers.
So,
As I said, sir, I'm a soldier first. It was my intent to save as many people as I could, so that's what I did. That's what I've always done.
my hope was that if I were to say temporarily, or not temporarily, depending on how it goes, deputize you. And then your presence in town would be a great boost to morale. And then maybe people wouldn't hide in their houses until I came back with more guards. Maybe things could get back to normal. People would understand that they are safe and that this is not likely to happen again anytime soon. Or indeed, this is the first attack we've had since the town was founded. There are bandits, sure, but no one just attacks for no reason. They didn't seem to want anything.
No.
And from what you've said and what I've seen, they seem to be causing chaos for the... Not even the joy of it, they just...
Someone desired chaos, so it was given.
Yes. So, we need to teach the town to not be afraid of our neighbors, that the tribes are not in fact coming to attack us, that something is going on, but that we are now aware that something is going on, and we are keeping an eye out. And if I could entrust you all to do so, stay in town, stay visible, for at least, I'll be gone about a week, all things being well.
I'm good at being visible.
I should note that this won't be a volunteer position. I can pay you. You get a standard guard salary of 1 gold a day.
Well, you can talk to Kay about stealing me.
I already did. She was quite amenable about it. They were quite amenable about it, but I guess they're slightly biased.
I'm technically under the employ of the caravan, but that was transitory regardless.
Mm.
They wanted fighters and I was one.
Caravans tend to. That's how a lot of people end up here.
Well, if
Mox.
no one...
Mox, you look worried.
Oh, I'm new here.
I have a strange question for you, Mox.
Mhm.
Feel free to tell me I'm overstepping, but are you from Formist?
Yes.
That explains a lot.
How do you know about...
So is Kay.
Oh.
You might
What?
want to go and talk to them.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Mm.
Forgive me, Formist.
Not to be that sort of person, but you very probably won't have heard of it. Somewhat
mean-
secluded. On purpose.
You're
They
not meant
don't-
to find it. People like all of you are not meant to find it.
And to add another layer to what you may be considering about this place, neither are people supposed to leave.
Oh,
Don't count myself lucky for knowing 2 of you. I imagine that's approximately 100% of the people who have left.
Didn't know there was another. any
To be
other-
fair, I had never left Yanderoff until a few years ago.
They probably didn't want you to know that other people had left, Mox.
No. There's a lot they didn't want us to know.
I thought from some of the things you'd said, and more importantly, not known about, that you might be from there.
Walker's like actively like tearing up now.
Nell looks very panicked.
Oh, wait, fine. Thank you, Hemlock. Thank you. Do we have other things to discuss?
You just push. They push 4 little silver shield-shaped badges. They're about this big. Little badges. That just have the name of the town. They have Sandpoint written on them. And just go, your official badges. If you accept these and you accept the rate of 1 gold a day, then you are officially deputies of the town guard of Sandpoint.
Nell will put a badge
Brings
on.
up a huge gauntleted hand, picks it
Tiny little badge.
up delicately.
I was thinking on the other scale of it, Nell going, which scarf do I attach? So many scarves.
I thought you meant on the other hand, Snitch holding his badge like this.
Badge. He's not actually the size of a rat.
I know, but
I'll probably just bite mine and then put it in my pocket.
I can be visible for a while.
Like I say, all things being well, Magnamar being amenable to my suit, I should be back within a week. Until then, Deputy Houndrel is the one to report to. They're probably, I suppose, in charge. Never really had to leave anyone in charge before.
Longer than that, it would be unwise.
I understand. I think.
It's not that I wouldn't. It's not that I don't want to. Put it that way.
Well, I will let you go about whatever it was you had to do today. Rumor is Lord Foxglove may be having an interest in you today.
Yes.
yeah, oh yes, hunting.
Good luck with
Helping.
that. Yes.
Rather a specialty of mine. I'll be good.
I'm sure you will all be absolutely fine. The man is a competent hunter from what I know of him. And I shall leave it at that. If you don't mind, I have a lot of preparation to do. I'll be leaving in the morning. I'll be leaving tomorrow, so I have to get everything ready. I thank you for your help again, and for stepping up. I'm sure you will do a grand job of keeping morale up. Deputies.
Sheriff?
Sheriff?
They sit at their desk and begin doing paperwork, so I'm assuming you're leaving.
Yes.
Yep.
Unless you want to stand there and be really awkward for a bit longer.
Once we're outside, Nell will like pin the badge to probably like her actual dress or shirt, whatever she's wearing. She's probably wearing a shirt because she knows she's going hunting. And then we'll immediately cover it over with a couple of scarves.
So, what's the plan now?
Mox is fucking legging it to Kay.
You're off to the tickle.
Yeah, just gone.
I'm going after them.
The second they're outside.
Yeah, it's not far.
Shoot off, and like if people are like just go like, I'll be there at 10 bells.
Is anyone going with Mox? Is Mox
I'm
preventing
going with
anyone
them.
going with them? Okay.
Mox won't stop anyone. They're just saying
Right.
that they're gonna meet in the north gate at 10 bells.
Are you all going with, or are Snitch and Huron doing something else with their hour or hour and a half ish that they have left?
Heading back to the dragon.
Snitch?
Yeah, I'll follow you on.
Okay, cool.
I had
So
another plan, but then I realized that was a bad idea. So
I'm very
Was it a fun
intrigued.
bad
but
idea,
I'll-
though?
we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
All right. So Nell and Mox, you make it back to the
Run
the
after Mox.
doors. Like it's not like shut up or anything because people live here, but it's visibly not open for business. And someone tries to tell you that as you walk in the.
I'm just gonna be like,
slam
it's
in the
okay.
door.
It's
Like,
okay. I work
oh,
here.
never mind. It's you. Carry on.
It's fine.
Where's Kay?
You have
Where's Kay?
such long legs.
In their office, the second door on the right.
Just
Goes back to
Go
what they were doing.
straight towards that way.
Cool. Yeah, Nell appears to be doing paperwork. Not Nell, not.
I am.
Nell's doing paperwork, everyone. Surprise! I'm taking over this character. Kay's doing paperwork, sitting at their desk. In a very similar but yet very different office from the one you've just left. Again, someone sitting at a desk doing paperwork, but the other one had significantly less velvet. And their candelabras were not made of gold, so, or at least lined in gold. It's very luxurious in here, and there is a chaise longue along one side. Kay is not currently on it. They are doing paperwork. They look up. Good morning.
Yeah, Moxes burst in and say in Moro, in their very strange dialect. They're very specific. You could say unique dialect. Why didn't I know about you?
In the same dialect? I thought so. Come and sit down. Switch back to common. Come and sit down.
Mox, do you want me to leave? Or
You're alright now. Need a moment.
they have very long legs.
They do. They do indeed have very long legs. Would you have a cup of water?
Oh, thank you.
I'll just hand you one. You're not sure
Mox
where it
hasn't-
came from,
Mox
actually.
hasn't sat down, by the way. They are taught. Just every part of them.
They don't want you to.
I'm not that dumb.
How old are you?
21?
Nell has a moment of, oh my god, it's a baby.
So when I left, you were 3. So that's why you don't know.
Did you know of anyone?
Not anyone before me who got out, no.
Do you know of anyone now? Before you? Before us?
My dad.
You knew your dad?
Not till I left.
How?
Gonna have to be more specific. There's a lot of hows in that one.
How did you find... How did you leave? When did you leave?
I was a tiller on the farms. Big strong arms, you know?
I know.
I just walked away. Kept walking.
Weren't you seen?
Yep. Turns out I'm pretty fast. And turns out if you can find a handy Shoanti tribe, they will take you in. And the justices will not argue it.
That's how Hemlock knows you.
That's how Hemlock knows me.
Why would the justices listen to the tribes?
Listen to... Be made to listen to at spear point.
But they're human, though. They're just human.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they listen?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. There was an old woman. She said something to the justice who came to find me. And they left.
That doesn't sound right. I mean, I know you wouldn't lie. You're not lying.
Nope.
That doesn't sound right.
Nell, how much are you following? Says Kate to you.
You're
He's like,
both from the same
cult.
That was you're both from the same cult. You left before Mox did. The Shoanti helped you leave, but I don't know how Mox got out.
Neither do I. Clearly not by just walking away. Or you wouldn't be surprised that that's how I got out.
No, there was more involved.
There always is. It's always... There's a few of us dotted around. I don't know any of them personally, but people make it out every now and then.
Good. I think... I don't know. How much worse does it get every time? How much... That'll be why I couldn't just walk out. That'll be because of you.
Probably, yeah. I'm sorry for that.
No, wait, no, it's not your...
To be fair, I was a teenager.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at all.
Hun. There's a little justice in your head, isn't there? Yelling at you. Or yelling at me. We're both traitors, something like that?
You're wrong. We're wrong.
Yep. They would be very disappointed in me now. I'm sure they told everyone I was dead. Probably the only way to do it. Listen. It gets easier. Okay? I know it's not easy right now because a lot of things don't make any sense. Hell, money didn't make sense.
Shiny rocks.
Yeah, I know. And now I'm a business owner. And I have friends, loved ones, a partner.
How? Wait, you weren't even a comforter. You were a tiller.
I was. And you were?
Bred for war.
And yet, you play some beautiful violin music. So, I think in the eyes of the justices we're both wrong.
Very.
But here we are. And is it better? Do you feel like you can do what you want to do without being judged for it?
It's different.
It will get better. It does get better. And you have a very good, if very confused friend who has the widest eyes I've ever seen.
No, I'm sorry.
They're
I'm
one of my
so
best
I
features.
I should have said. I couldn't say. You're not meant to say anything.
It's okay. I didn't need to know.
You should have. It's not fair. It didn't matter.
Well, look at it this way, Marks. I knew you were a bit odd. But I didn't care. And I still helped you, and I still think you're a friend. So, while I'm glad that I know, it wasn't necessary.
Okay.
It's your business, and you choose who you tell on your terms.
I think the others should know, though.
If that's what you want to do, then you can tell them, and I'll help you.
At least in case, to help explain, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Do you think they're gonna come after you? The justices?
They normally do. It looks to because Fox has no idea how successful they are in bringing people back.
They normally do.
Well, that's not going to go well for them.
Most of us don't tell anyone in case word gets back to them. But
so we don't know. And so...
your willingness to stand up and fight for your friend is heartwarming. And I think if more people knew that you could just make friends. We don't really do friends as such.
You have people you are compatible with. and people you work with.
I really like friends. It's probably my favorite concept.
It's not useful, though.
If the friend is willing to stand between you and an angry justice, sounds pretty useful to me.
They're your friend for utility.
Or maybe they just like you and they don't want you to be taken away.
It's that one.
Oh.
Mox, if you ever want to talk, or if the tiny justice in the back of your head gets too angry about anything that you're doing, my sofa is always open, and I have a lot of mead. I don't know if you've tried mead yet. Have you tried mead yet?
Yeah.
It's very good.
Tastes like sour sweet.
Yes. And I find it's very good for soothing emotional wounds.
It does creep up on you, though.
That it does. But at least it's not our special brew that I believe you tried yesterday.
10 shots, Kay.
I can do it.
Damn.
Not that I need a free night. That would be rather redundant. I don't know. Then again, I could just give myself a night off, I suppose. That'd be nice. Oh, night off.
You seem like you deserve more of those.
I enjoy my work. Found something
visible confusion.
Found something I'm good at. Found something that allows me to live a life that isn't scraping a living, that isn't begging for food, that isn't contemplating going back because I'm starving. I know a lot of people have done that one. But I see you've spoken to Hemlock.
Yes. She'll move the scarf.
I'm assuming that they're the one who sent you to me. We had a bit of discussion last night about whether or not you were... Well, you got the idea. So, do you want some of that mead now?
Hey. Maybe later. We should find the others. Thank you, Kay.
Here whenever you need me. And I won't make you pay for the company.
Folks just cannot stop themselves from the as expected.
Okay, kind of. And just sits back in their chair, waits for you to leave. Seems you seem to be leaving.
Give me 1 second, Mox. If you just go out, I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aside from all this, thank you for taking me on sight unseen.
You came with excellent reviews and references.
Yeah, that is a thing. I think I understand a little bit more why you did it, though.
Gotta give people a chance. And Smokey said something interesting. Sorry, he doesn't go by that anymore, does he? Drago said something interesting.
Yeah, I wondered if he'd told you.
The title may have rung a bell.
Yeah. Yeah, let's leave it at that. I need to go on a hunt.
A hunt?
A hunt. I suspect I'm arm candy, but otherwise...
Oh, Foxglove.
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 Local fop.
That's the one.
Enjoy yourself.
Oh, I almost certainly won't.
If you can dissuade him from attempting to batter our door down at all hours, he is...
He what?
Oh, he's a wealthy customer, but a little entitled and doesn't seem to understand the words, "we're closed."
Right.
Oh, he treats the girls well enough. The boys too, on occasion.
Got it.
Just doesn't seem to understand shut. So, yes, have fun.
Thanks. And I'll
All right.
guess
So
we
what
shall...
are Huron and Snitch doing? You're heading back to the inn.
We're going to the Rusty Dragon, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What are you up to in the inn?
He is cleaning his crossbow.
Which one?
Yes, that's the question.
His crossbow.
Good lord.
I will have my crossbow out, and I will be painstakingly imitating Huron.
I realized a bit belatedly that I was going to say something before you got to speak to Kay. And that is, I realized that this may not be a problem for us at the moment, but as these are going up on YouTube, this may be more of a problem in the future. And it may seem ridiculous, but it happens more frequently than you think. I do have a couple of resources for what you should do if you or someone you know you think they may be in a cult.
Yes,
There's a lot of resources of how to get out. I also have some resources on how to get out of the kind of abusive relationships that are very similar to what we just described. I'm very sorry that I didn't put the content warning in first, but all of the resources will be in all of the YouTube channel things, and hopefully we'll be able to put them up on our various social medias and things. We'll get that done today. So, there was always somebody to reach out to. That's all I'm going to say in addition to that.
And there's always going to be a friend who'll stand between you and the angry justice.
It sounds mildly ridiculous, but there will be. There are many, many people who will stand between you and angry justices.
The world is not as bad as they tell you it is.
Right. Now, moving on. Snitch and
Back in
Huron
character.
are being completely adorable. Or rather, Snitch is being adorable, and Huron is humouring him, I assume. And
Pretty
not
much.
just flinging things at him
It's
and telling
like
him to bugger off.
he's busy. He's got his tool and his oil out. He's right in amongst it.
Snitch is such a sweet
I'm not
boy.
imitating him for cheekiness' sake.
No,
I'm
yeah.
imitating him because I want my crossbow to be good.
No, I know, it's just, it sounded so much like, well, Dad's doing the thing, so I must copy him with my tools.
It's like little kids pretending to shave along with their dad.
Yeah.
It's just such a cute image.
It's so
I'm sorry.
adorable.
Just and then we clean this bit. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then he puts down the oil, and the oil is mysteriously gone, and mysteriously returned. Nothing happened to that oil. Huron, it's like having an apprentice again. It's really weird. All right. So, at 10 bells, do you congregate at the north gate? Alrighty.
Yeah.
Does
Friends! It is so good to see you, my good friends. I'm hoping everyone's up for a bit of riding into the forest and some hunting of boar. It's my favorite sport. Love a good boar. I realize that, of course, you being grand adventurers may be slightly more what's the words? Ready for very specific types of combat. So I have bought you some presents. I thought that you might be in need of a good number of boar spears. I don't know if you've ever had one of these before, but they are incredibly useful for hunting a boar, as you could probably tell from the names. I'm sorry, you're cleverer than that. You probably knew that immediately. I have some wonderful boar spears for you, and I thought perhaps I could interest you all in a mount. Would that be something that I could interest you all in, do you think?
For the day, or...?
Well, I mean, of course, if you want to return it, you can. But I thought such wonderful adventures. You saved my life. It is the least I can do, my good friends, my beautiful lady. How could I possibly allow this to go unthanked? I would be called ungrateful from here to Absalom. And that would not be done. I would not besmirch the name of Foxglove, so.
Oh, of course not. I'll admit I've received some gifts in my time, but I think a horse, I'm assuming it's a horse. Is,
if a horse is what you desire, my fair lady, then a horse you shall have.
Oh,
I was thinking perhaps more of a small amount for your smaller friend. I thought a horse might be slightly too large for you, but I hear they have a good deal in ponies at the moment. I thought that might do you wonderfully. What do you say, folks? What do you say, my good friends? Chaps.
Surely it would be rude to refuse.
Excellent!
As the
Come with
lady
me to-
says.
Come with me to the stables then, points at the building that's right next to the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. He's like, come with me to this door that is 3
Yeah.
inches away.
This way! Here.
Here. He does it really dramatic. It's like, follow me to this door.
Fucking Will Smith meme right next to the door, just like,
Yeah.
There is a man standing inside the door who, can I get perception checks from everyone except Mox?
that's a mighty 6.
I was going to say you get bonuses, but I don't think that's enough bonuses.
No, I fucking don't. I get shit all for bonuses.
No, you do.
Oh, I do.
Snitch, what'd you get?
I think I'm distracted by all the large, potentially dangerous animals around me. I got 7 again.
Be alright, Huron.
The blind party arrive. Huron, you swear you know this guy. In fact, you think you saw him go out of a window earlier.
Oh!
That asshole!
That guy is now standing, waiting, visibly kind of makes a movement when he sees Nell, who is completely oblivious. He seems to recognize Nell from having landed at her feet earlier.
And then being stepped over.
And then being stepped over.
Like a fucking
Oh.
packet of crisps.
Huron rolls a 2 for his bluff check this time.
Oh lord. Oh lord.
He is looking upon him with barely concealed hatred.
Can I notice Huron?
Just-
Is that
Yeah,
a thing I
you-
can roll for?
Yes, you can. Would you like to roll another perception check? Noticing that Huron has seen something in
Ooh.
this man. Did you get worse?
I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
can't.
How bad is that? 4.
That still beats me.
You know that
I
Huron is
rolled
having.
a 2 and
Oh,
have
true.
+0.
True.
You're not entirely sure why Huron is so mad, but Huron does not like this man.
I'm not concealing it.
No, good. Mox didn't get a roll because Mox was not present for this shenanigans, so you have no idea why Snitch hates this man.
Wait.
Is there a problem, guys?
Yeah, it smells like asshole in here.
It could be the horses.
I'm pretty sure it isn't.
His lordship says he is to buy you each amount. Can we be professional about this,
What's
little
the
man?
problem?
I'm sorry.
What does his height have to do with things?
I'm sorry, Huron Snitch, who is this?
This was the gentleman proclaiming the superiority of his race this morning.
And was promptly ejected from the Rusty Dragon.
I was doing
Taken
no
out like
such
the
thing.
Can
Sir,
the second
I
that
was
was
in fact-
said?
Yes, sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, like Mox would not have let that.
Yeah.
Having just had this conversation,
Indeed.
hearing
it's
that-
Mox's mind.
Uh-oh.
Or
Mox is going
perhaps
to grab
not,
his throat.
Oh my
perhaps
god!
not the superiority as
I was
their
not
inferiority.
proclaiming like this. I
Yeah.
was not proclaiming.
As in, like, grab throat, push against wall.
I was not doing any such thing, sir. I was merely saying that if you lie down with dogs, you're going to get fleas.
I'm gonna like drape an arm over Lord Fop's shoulder and like lean
He's
up
just
against
frozen.
him.
He's like, what's going on?
I'm just like, now, my dear Lord Foxglove,
Yes,
as
yes, my
previously
lady.
stated, we greatly appreciate the offer to buy us mounts, but I don't think is he just staring at the cleavage. That's fine if he is.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying not to. Bless his heart. He's kind of
oh,
staring
he's
at your
trying.
neck.
That's quite
Bless
nice.
him.
He's kind of
Bless his
staring at your
cotton
neck
socks.
because he's not quite. He's trying.
It's nice that he's trying, considering Nell is very much sort of playing up the "I'm a sexy lady who's leaning on you" angle right now.
There's
You are-
parts
you
of me touching you because they are by necessity moths.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
of course.
she's just gonna okay. We do really appreciate the offer, but I don't think we could truly stomach giving business to a racist. So if there are other...
my goodness, that's terribly unfortunate. I've already paid the man.
I think that can be resolved.
I object mildly. Not too strenuously. You did save my life.
I'm
Can I roll
certain
intimidate?
that
Yes, roll intimidate. You are pinning a man to a wall by his neck.
That's a 26.
I'm certain that an agreement can be reached.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. Good agreements. Yep. What do you want? I would really like my neck back.
I think Foxglove would like his money back.
Oh, that's fine. Can do that.
We'll be cancelling the transaction.
Sure. It
In
looks
fact, I don't think Foxglove would want
completely
his money back.
deflated.
Because he is paying for these mounts out of the goodness of his heart and gratitude to us. What I think you want to do with the money he so graciously gave you is to help out any and all light local goblin families that may be living in this town.
Right. Right. I could do that.
A donation perhaps to the church to distribute?
I could do that. I could give the money to the church. I could. Do I have to go all of it to the church? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
I can give it to the church. I can give it to the church. It's fine.
I don't know, Mox, do you think he has to give all of it to the church?
I think so.
Okay, Mox, is it lovely, sir? Good to meet you. Your hands
I cannot possibly say the same of you.
If you could just let me
It
go
was
for
just
1
like
second.
draped on Foxglove, like, oh,
I can't breathe, and you are liable to kill me if you hold on too hard. If you could let me go, I would be most appreciative.
Let the man go so that he can get out his lovely donation.
Prop.
Kind of hit, seems to, you weren't really holding him up, but
Yeah.
he just seems to kind of lose all of his ability to have a spine. Funny that. and stumbles, leans against a wall and goes, right then, so you'll be Lord Foxglove, my lord. You'll be getting your horses from all of those other stables that there are in town, I assume.
Are there any other stables in town?
You don't know. You've not been here very long. If you're asking Lord Foxglove, he can answer.
I will ask Lord Foxglove. Are there other stables?
Regrettably no, my lady. This is the only
Can
one
we
in
do
town.
without?
We could. I've never hunted a boar on foot before. That could be quite exciting. I mean, I do have, obviously, my own horse, but that would be unsportsmanlike of me to have a horse when the rest of you did not. So I shall leave it behind.
It might take us a little bit.
Technically, it's unsportsmanlike to hunt a boar while mounted, unless the boar itself is also mounted.
Have you ever seen a boar, my friend? I'm not insulting your intelligence. Just, you seem like a man who's never hunted a boar before. And trust me when I say that you need all of the advantages you could possibly have.
Well,
They are spirited little buggers.
My intent is generally to be rather far away.
Yes! A man of potential and ranged ability. I'm very excited. I've never really been a man. That brings me to my other present. If we all just leave again, that would be excellent. I'll just make sure that
You know, this whole endeavor without the horses, it might be more of a challenge. It also might take us longer, but it does mean that we get to spend more time together, doesn't it?
I suppose it does, my lady. That would be most excellent. It's been far too long since I was in the presence of such a beautiful woman.
Oh.
And you will leave.
Flatterer.
I assume. Mox, are you leaving? Mox, are you leaving?
Stay a little longer, just glaring at the man.
He's still kind of leaning on the wall.
Tear them
remembering how to
off.
breathe.
Tear them off.
Snitch, no!
Is this just going to be your war chant from now on? Just wait in the middle of battle and go, tear them off, tear them off.
You make one Princess Bride reference.
All right. So, when you are outside, I'm going to do this quickly because it's nearly 10 o'clock. So, when you are back outside, you notice that Rogers, the manservant, he appears to be fully healed, and he's back. And he has 2 horses, kind of holding each of them by the reins. When he sees you return out of the stables without any horses, he appears slightly embarrassed, but he grabs a bag that he has on the back of one of the horses, and presents each of you with a light crossbow for hunting purposes. Huron. It's a
That
fucking
wouldn't-
naff crossbow.
That won't be necessary, Squire.
Oh, right, of course. Sorry. Yes.
He swings down his bag.
Oh.
The bag that he's been carrying around the whole time. He undoes the drawstring from the top of it and withdraws the most beautifully crafted and mechanically marvelous crossbow that any of them will have ever seen. It is inlaid with filigree in gold and silver. The wood is well oiled. He pulls a lever and flicks back a couple of like notched wheels, and it sort of springs out into the sort of ready position, and he slings it over his shoulder.
From a few meters away from you, there is a very quiet, good gods. And just, if it were physically possible for Lord Foxglove's mouth to be on the floor, it would be. He also looks like he's about to faint, and Rogers kind of has one arm out. Like...
I'm still draped on him. I'm still
ready to
draped
catch
on him, so like when I see that he's just
kind of wobbles a little under your arm.
I'm gonna lean over and very carefully close his mouth.
That is the most magnificent piece of armature I have seen in a very long time, sir. I commend you on your taste and ability to find a craftsman. Unless, of course, you did it yourself. In which case, why wait for yourself on a boar hunt, my friend?
There are no craftsmen alive who can match me with a crossbow.
I thoroughly expect this is true. I believe every word. That's incredible. I'm going to go and find those boar spears. I will be right back. Rogers, look after my guests for the moment.
As he pulls away from Nell,
It's far too long already, my lady. I miss you already.
Mm-hmm. As he pulls away from Nell, she finger walks her fingers over his shoulders and down his arm as he goes.
You get a bow, like a full, very flamboyant bow. He kind of makes a move as if to kiss your hand, but if you pull your hand away, then he
I'll
just
let him.
into part of the. Okay, so he was gonna turn it into part of the bow and be fabulous, but he kisses you on the hand and flounces, for the man is physically incapable of moving in any other manner, flounces his way off into a nearby building, and he will return.
Nice.
Return momentarily with your boar spears, and I think we shall leave it there on the cusp of you heading out on your very first boar hunt. For many of you, on your very millionth boar hunt, if you happen to be Huron. I have no idea how many boar snitches hunted, but I suspect that Nell and Mox have not done this before.
I don't think Nell's ever even seen a real boar.
Probably not so much boar, where he's from.
Hunting before.
Probably bears.
I was going to say similar words, different vowel combination, bear rather than boar.
I think
I think the number of boar that snitches hunted probably numbers somewhere in the low zeros.
It might have been rabbit
low
hunting
to
or
mid
something before,
zeros.
but it's completely different.
I think the only time Nell's ever even seen a boar was when she was arm candy for some fancy event that had a suckling pig in the center of the table.
Yeah.
With a big apple in his mouth.
This is going to be a fantastic new experience for everyone involved, and I'm sure you're all very excited. Sorry, there was a giant fly that just came buzzing past me. That was
rude.
Extremely
I had
rude.
a wonderful mental image while Huron was doing the whole loading of the crossbow. The snitch just got out his perfectly ordinary crossbow, made a huge show, over-exaggeratedly loading it, posing with it on his hip, accidentally setting it off, and you hear the sound of broken glass and a screaming cat. And Snitch just...
Perfect. What a
We're
perfect
deputies.
We're deputies.
You are deputies of the law. You are working for the law at the moment.
We're all men now.
Somebody should catch this window breaking vandal.
All right.
Oh.
So you have been through a lot today. It's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Mox has learned many things. You have discovered a lot about.
Viv and I go
why...
ride or die for each other's characters very quickly.
Yeah.
You've discovered a lot about these darn varmints who are attacking the village that you are now living in. For some of you, it's your village. You may not have been quite that attached to it yet, but for Mox, it contains their theater. It is very much their village.
It's my heart, my soul, my reason for being.
I've lived here for less than a day.
I've slept here precisely once, maybe twice.
I had a nap that one time.
Yeah.
Huron is the watcher on the walls. That is what he does.
So, I think that's everything I have as a GM for you tonight.
Mhm.
So I believe we have some. I think we've got lots of social media links.
Yes, all the links should be sorted now down
Woohoo!
below. You should be able to find our link trees, basically, for each of us, except for Rory. As usual, if you want to contact Rory, you need to make the appropriate blood sacrifices. And no, nothing less than cold baked beans will do as a finisher.
No, it has to be cold baked beans. If you cook them, it's ruined.
According to him.
You also might get me instead.
Yeah.
The
Get the wrong
cold
one.
baked beans will ensure that you get Rory and not Nick.
This is very important. We have a few upcoming announcements, but they're not quite ready yet. So keep watching for next week, when hopefully we'll be able to announce some cool things that we're doing.
This is the announcement about our announcement.
We're announcing our announcement. I'm sorry I didn't do it
We're
last
giving
week.
you
So
some
I could
time
announce,
to prepare.
so I could announce the announcement of our announcement. Then I'd go full professional wrestling on you all, because that's how they do things.
It is.
Do we have any shout outs or
Check out our recommendeds as usual. They're all great channels. Go check them out.
Yep.
yes, please do. I was going to add another one to that, and I didn't remember in time. If anyone wants to go and check out Lara Darkwood's channel on I think she's Purple Coffins on
Purple Coffins on Twitch.
Purple Coffins on Twitch. I can never
Yes.
remember which around.
She's gaming and cooking.
And she's a
baking
wonderful
and-
human being and great friend of most of us here.
She is delightful and wholesome, and if you
And
do
kind of the
like me,
opposite of what
you
we
use
do.
Twitch to like calm down and chill out. She's perfect channel for that.
Yeah, if you like.
Like I've
Spooky
known her
50s
for
aesthetic.
like
Mm.
8 years, maybe,
Yeah,
and I'm
about that.
still not convinced she's real.
I've met her once at a protest. She was lovely.
I have known her entire life. 20, 25, 20. If she watches this and I get that wrong, I'm gonna get shouted at.
Too many years because she's
Yeah, so I've known her entire life, and she's adorable, and I love her.
We all do.
So that's the thing. I don't think we have any shout outs. I will put all those links down in various social media and stuff if people want to look into various things. They're kind of useful to know for the future if you have not got a problem like that currently. They're useful things to be able to keep an eye on. And I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think we're good.
And
Yeah.
it is late, and most of us are old biddies, and this is past our bedtime. So for those of you
Refer
watching
to
on,
description.
yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube or watching our archive, that may be incredibly confusing. But it is currently 3 minutes past 10, and therefore past my bedtime.
Then we're 3 minutes past Betty Pies.
Yes, exactly. It's time for bed. So we love you all. Thank you very much for watching. You are a wonderful chat audience, and we love you. And we will see you all next week at the same time in the same place. All right.
You can also catch me streaming intermittently.
Like I said, check out our recommendeds.
Colonel Savage _
So we'll see you later, and everyone have a good night. Adios.
Bye.